on your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissy is hilarious.
Chrissy, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell out before you blow up a plane.
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what, good to say I doubt it will stand up to something. I haven't been disrespectful to you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt.
I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean.
Look at us. Look at us. All right. I'm going to start with assumed. Welcome to, you know what? I actually like it further back. We're going to wait till Fealty gets over COVID. Then we'll do the zoomed in looks.
Don't get too close to my face.
If Fauci were here, he would say you could get it just through listening to this podcast. Welcome
The
to
droplets.
Whatever Wednesday. The Droplets, your favorite whatever podcast recap show, because it is the only whatever podcast recap show. And we do this because we love the whatever podcast so much. And there's just so many mysteries, so much to break down, so much to divulge, so much to study. It makes me feel like I'm back in psych class in college, like I'm a psychology major.
It is a lot of fun, isn't it? It's like a train wreck that's just so awesome. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, it's like a good train wreck.
Yeah, it's the entertaining one. And it's like, we're not rooting against them, and we're not trying to bash anyone over there, but it's like, when you look at a train wreck, you're like, oh, wow, look at that train car. It's flipping. You know?
And the podcast is interesting because obviously, and sometimes we'll poke fun at Brian, but it's like the host. It's like clearly they're doing something very right because the show is immensely popular. They've got millions of followers, millions of clip channels. They are prolific, and it's just it's a social media phenomena. So it's like everyone at this point has at least watched a clip of the whatever podcast, if you spend any time online at all. So before we bring in our guests, I guess we can try to explain maybe what we were trying to do with this episode. Last week, we had a very special pop-in guest in Kristy Saint Regis, who just came off of her whatever podcast appearance. And then she was lucky enough to do the whatever podcast again. I think this past Sunday.
Yeah.
Our plan was to watch clips of that episode, but since then, that episode has been completely taken off the internet due to copyright shenanigans. So
yeah, usually, maybe there'll be something or whatnot up, right? They'll take away the monetization or something with a copyright. But no, this one was a full it's gone. Good luck. And it tells you who. There was a person that did it, copyright the whole thing. Yeah, the striker. It was a legit strike. So I'm kind of worried that they won't be able to stream again. Maybe if they get that strike, they might have a week or two of no streaming now, if you think of it. It would
be unheard of.
Yeah, it would be very unfortunate, untoward. But so that was a plan.
So Kristy was on last week. Everyone loved her because she keeps it real. And she was also on that first episode with her friend Brianna. And I'm so happy.
Brenna,
but her name says Brianna. Oh my God. I can't be the retarded one. I've read it in a couple places. All right, maybe it's me.
Hey, maybe it's me. It could be the COVID talking. I don't know.
Can't read. Maybe that's my problem. It's Brenna.
You need a center for kids that can't read good. That's what you need.
What is this, a center for ants? So our plan for this show was to have Kristy and Brenna and Isabella Deluca on, because they were kind of on different sides of the table, number one, which means that you're on different you're of different opinions. Because I was told that you're seated based on what opinions you're gonna have. And then I've also been told that you're seated based on like who they deem to be the most interesting. Like the first time Kristy was on, Adam 22 and Lena the Plug were sitting very close to camera. Which is like that's like the number one seat. But then when Kristy came back, she was sitting in the number one seat because, well, she's just so gosh darn lovable. So anyway, Isabella bailed like kind of last minute. Unfortunately, I messaged her at around 7:30 to be like, hey, just confirming. And normally I do reach out to people earlier to confirm. But since we had just spoken so recently, just a few days ago, I figured, all right, well, this is just a little confirm. And she's like, yeah, I'm out. And I'm like, when were you going to tell me this? Like, I always love a heads up. And thank God I was the one to reach out, because who knows? We could have been sitting here completely bewildered. Good thing we weren't holding our. But so that was our plan. But luckily, we do have Kristy and Brenna here. And I think we should bring them in and they can talk about their experience on the show and maybe their thoughts just in general.
Who are you going to bring in?
Oh, okay. Let's.
You want the same time it?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
I won. Did we do the same person? I figured you'd choose Kristy.
See, I thought you were going to choose Kristy, so then I chose Brenna. Wow, we psyched each other out. Hello, ladies. Oh, my goodness. This is so exciting. We're so happy to have you girls here. And we're so happy you didn't bail last minute. We love that. Yeah.
I had a feeling Isabella was going to bail because it wouldn't have been good for her ratio at all. So.
Golly. Uh-oh. I don't think we could hear Brenna. We had a feeling there might be an issue. Did you try unplugging it and plugging it back in? No.
Try blowing into the Nintendo.
Still mute. Oh, maybe I can unmute you. No, I can't.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm not very tech savvy whatsoever, so
no worries.
It's okay. Neither are we.
I'm not either. Only this ear is working on my AirPod, and I don't know why.
So, Kristy, my gosh, so much has happened. So last time we spoke to you, you had just finished your first appearance on the Whatever podcast. You were staying in your hotel, not sure what your next move was going to be. And then when do you get the call to come back for another episode?
So I got that call. Actually, it was like the night that I was talking to you. That's why I still stayed there. So Brenna and I went all the way back to Los Angeles, thinking we're both flying home that night, but my flight was just later than hers just because we were going to two different places, just how it worked out. So she left to go to the airport, and then I left to go hang out at my friend's pool to kill some time. And they had messaged both of us like in the morning, and then they were like, you should really stay till Sunday. And somehow convinced me to stay. And then, but Brenna had already left by then.
Yeah,
so
I was on the plane ride home, and I work a 9 to 5. So,
yeah. Wow, that's a lot to manage. I remember having to sneak out from my 9 to 5 on a weekend to do a weekend trip to LA. And I remember taking the red eye back and going in straight to work. I remember landing at JFK, wiping off some of my makeup, and then going straight into Manhattan for my day job. So I feel you on that.
Yeah. But Kristy stayed, and she was there, what, a week?
By accident. I felt like a gypsy. Like it was not planned well at all. But I figured, why not just go back? Because everyone was like so mean to me. And it's like, all right, I'm not scared of you little trolls like on the internet getting annoyed at my voice. Like,
Right.
You probably wouldn't say this to me to my face.
No, of course they would be too nervous to even approach you.
Yeah, exactly. They'd probably try to get my ratio count up if they were actually to my face at a bar.
You know, you make yourself an easy target for ridicule because but those are also the things about you that make you great and make you a standout and made you the best person on this show. You're open, you're honest, you're vulnerable. You don't pull any punches, you don't bullshit. Like you are so comfortable in your own skin. You have no reason to lie about anything or there's no coping going on with you. And because you are so open and honest, people go, oh, we can get in digs on her, her voice. And by the way, like it was the same 3 insults rotating around, and I was like, can these people at least get a little creative? But I just love that none of that got to you, and you just are so unfazed by it, which is, for someone who is not on a lot of podcasts or like TV or radio, for you to already have that is kind of amazing and makes you kind of a natural entertainer, really.
That was the first podcast I'd ever been in on my life. Like,
that's great.
Like we literally, like, Brenna and I thought we were just gonna like talk about just like funny dating stories.
Yeah.
Like,
we had no idea the panel, like we had no idea. It was completely different than what we were expecting. Like we were at the hotel bar having a drink, and then we see who's going to be on the panel, and we're like, are you kidding me right now? Like, we just thought we were going to go in there, talk about our dating stories, funny stuff, maybe like girls our age, but complete opposite.
Well, they actually were our age. They just didn't look like it.
True. Yeah.
Who were you most surprised to see on the panel, or was it either individuals or like types of viewpoints were you most surprised to see on the panel?
Both, because I think it was like 2 extremes, but like I didn't think we were gonna be with like big famous like porn people. Like I didn't really think my job title was gonna be that big of a deal at all. But like literally, like, I don't know. I never watched a full episode of that podcast at all because 5 hours is a really long time.
Oh, you don't have 5 hours to spare twice a week. Like Fealty.
Yeah.
Well, come on, it's our job, Fealty.
Like
I enjoy it.
I watched like little clips. Like I would fast forward through like maybe 2 before we went there. And the one that I saw, there was a girl that works at a brothel, and no one was attacking her by any means. So I didn't think this was like an attacking show. Yeah, like so I was like, all right, like everyone just like, if she's talking about that, like how am I gonna be controversial? You know?
I wonder if it feels, and you're a man, I think, so maybe you can answer this. Men often bond or show affection by sort of ribbing, or it's the old school hair pulling thing, and I just know with my male comedy friends is they will sort of like rib you and make fun of you. And since Kristy was kind of like one of the most outspoken, likable people on the show, I wonder if a lot of these guys' attempts at like making fun of her were really just like, oh, we think she's great and we're trying to get her attention somehow.
Well, I mean, like, I'm used to this in like my everyday life. Like, I feel like people like hate on me all the time. Like, this isn't anything new. So like I was just genuinely like responding to it, but still trying to relate to people. Like I feel like I was trying to relate to like both sides.
Yes, you were. Yeah. And you
that wasn't man ribbing. That I could tell you this. That like Chrissy, I mean, you would know. You're a dude, right? So
yes.
There you go, right back at you.
I'll show you later. Yeah.
No, but that's how dudes are. We will tease and stuff, but that was, I mean, there was nothing ribbing about that, especially from like someone like Brian and stuff and his staff. I mean, I think after last week, I mean, both of you saw the stream last week. I think we've proven over those 3 hours of like, here's like 20 super chats of just utter just disrespect. After like he starts his show and says, keep the super chats like, you know, cool, you know, and then you come in with 20 super chats of just bashing. It's like, yeah, on one side, yeah, I can understand make the money and stuff. And it's like, luckily Kristy is strong and could take that stuff, you know, which is why maybe that's why he kept on going with it. Cause he saw like Kristy's like, you know, whatever. And it's making good
content.
Weren't
shutting down over it.
Yeah. You know, but like, yeah, that wasn't, none of that was ribbing. I would say though on Sunday though, there was a little bit more of it being more ribbing. Like he understood, you know, who you were, Kristy, at that point. And he was like, Kristy gets first chair. Kristy's getting like your chances to talk, even when they're talking about things like, unfortunately, that we can't bring up, you know, like bouquets. I'll say it that way because, you know, YouTube friendly. You know, things were brought up during that show that were like unbelievable, and it's unfortunate that we can't react to it. But like, yeah, it was a different animal that second show. You know, people were still trying to go after you, though. I mean, I call anyone in the chat will know what I mean by this. But if you saw Sunday's show, there was a dude on the show that's 6'8" tall from Australia, the herbiest country I'd say in the world.
Oh,
no
Isaac
disrespect.
Butterfield, comedian.
Oh,
Isaac
yeah.
Butterfield.
Yeah, the comedian guy. Yeah,
he's actually really funny and based.
Is he funny? I've
heard. I haven't seen any of his stuff,
funny.
but I'm told that he's funny.
He was all right. I guess I have bad taste in my mouth for what Australia's been doing the past few years. But, like, literally, I was calling him Hodor because from Game of Thrones there's a character named Hodor, and all he ever says is Hodor. And, you know, I won't spoiler the show for anybody who hasn't seen it yet after, like, 10 years. But that's why I was calling him. At one point, he said to Brian cuts him off because he was going in on Kristy. And he says, oh, I almost had her there. You know, like he was purposely trying to get Kristy. Like they were there because they saw Kristy and Brenna, you know, the week prior. And that's what they wanted to do. They were like, she hasn't been beaten. We have to be the one. You know, our ratio of going after Kristy needs to be 1 for 1, you know. And it's 0 for 1 for all of them. Sorry.
Thank you. But like it's not hard because like I know who I am and I know like what I believe in when I don't. So all I have to do is like give my honest answers. But I feel like everyone else has like these prepped answers. And like also I just think I'm just like naturally faster than them. So I think that's what they hate the most.
Yeah, you just don't care. Like I've known Kristy. I've seen this today. We've known each other for so long, and it's just like that's one of the things I love about her is that she just doesn't care what people say, and like no matter what you say to her, it's not going to affect her. If anything, it just like builds her up and gives her more.
I know. Where do you think that comes from? Like you've known her for a long time. Is it like? Do you think her parents? Do you think just like what made this creature we see before? Because it's taken me years to not care a little bit, you know, so I'm always amazed by someone who just does it naturally.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it came naturally, Kristy. Like I don't think anything changed. I could be wrong, but yeah, you've always been this way. And I think even like going through the guys we've gone through too, like that alone has made you stronger too, because we're dealing with just losers. But
I like that you say gone through.
Yeah. So,
but it's like when you don't care, this is what I found out. When you don't care about what other people think of you, it pisses people off so much and they get so mad. And it's like, you shouldn't care about what I think of you either. Like, I don't even know you. Like, why does it even matter? Like, it only like matters like the people that are like your friends, loved ones, family, and if they do care, then they shouldn't be close to you in the first place. But like that, just, I don't know, it angers people so bad.
Did you
I've actually seen that? Oh, sorry,
sorry. Kristy, did you get the sense on the show, because I didn't from watching the show, I thought you and Isabella were like fine. I mean, I know you had differences of opinions on things, but I didn't see anything that in that episode that would really like prevent all of you from like coming on and having like a civil discussion and actually a great opportunity to expound on things and elaborate on topics that maybe you weren't able to on the the whatever podcast. So I was like really surprised. Yeah, she told me that she had sent you a very nice message and that you were like just being unbearable or something like that. You were being ridiculous or unbearable and like she couldn't deal with you. And that really surprised me because you strike me, Kristy, as somebody who can have civil discussion, even if you feel differently than someone, and you're not judgmental and, you're willing to hear people out. So was there any indication, like when you guys were doing the show together, that there was like hard feelings or like tension between the two of you?
No, I just think that like she probably watched, I don't know for a fact, but I would assume she watched the last show that you guys did, or at least she saw clips from my story because I like tagged her in some things and she follows me. So, and I was posting on my story. So it probably just wouldn't be like, she would probably think it wouldn't be like make her look good because like you guys like me. So
well, I like her too, Isabella. I think I've had her. I know I've tried to have her on multiple shows. She has bailed on several times, but like I thought her and I were mostly cool. And yeah, I was just trying to wonder a lot of times with conservatives or people who really like to put themselves in the conservative category, they almost don't want to be associated with anyone who they don't think is like a 100% conservative or traditional conservative religious type. So I didn't know if there was some of that.
I think 100%, like because I do OnlyFans, she does not want to have any like a good affiliation with me or agree with me on anything because that would like go against like her brand and stuff. Like she's hated on OnlyFans girls multiple times, so she can't, God forbid, agree on anything I say. Really, she did send me like a very long message that overall was pretty nice, and I just said like, I think that you're putting OnlyFans girls in a box. Like there's all different types of content on OnlyFans. Like you hear like there's all different measurements of conservative. Like I'm not conservative enough for her. I'm not traditional enough. It doesn't mean I don't have these traditional conservative beliefs. I literally believe in everything she does. I just don't think that she has to bash OnlyFans girls. Like that's the only thing I don't believe. Like she made a post and it was something like, I'm gonna start something called OnlyPans where you teach women to cook and clean and provide and cook and clean and something else. I don't know. I don't want to like quote it wrong, but I'm like, that's what I believe in too. Like I literally want to do that too as a wife and a mother. Like I believe in that too, but since I have OnlyFans, she doesn't believe me.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty judgmental. I think one of the biggest flaws of the conservative party, I guess, is that they don't do enough big tent, that they're really not going out of their way to bring people in and include people. And in fact, they go out of their way to exclude people, which like if we're trying to have the best guy win the next election, I don't really think that's the best way to go. I think big tent and like, yeah, I think you can get over the fact that somebody does OnlyFans if we can all kind of bound together, join hands, and get Trump elected. That's just one example, right? Of like if that's your goal, at the end of the day, and I think it's very easy to judge someone that does OnlyFans, especially if maybe you were raised with a ton of money, you've never really had to work. And I'm not saying that this is Isabella. I don't really know her experience, but like I just know the friends of mine and people I've known over the years who, if they do grow up with a lot of money, or they've always had everything handed to them, or they've never had to work a blue collar job, they've never worked in the service industry, they don't really understand that like not only the kind of allure of OnlyFans, that it is literally easy money, but it doesn't take the kind of toll on your soul. Like everyone has a blanket kind of, this is what will happen to you if you have an OnlyFans. Like your kid will be forever embarrassed of you. You will be single forever and die alone. You will never be able to get married. Like there's this very sort of, and we hear it all the time from conservative sort of talking heads and influencers. This is exactly what will happen to you if you do OnlyFans. This is why we have to stamp it out. And it's like, not everyone categorizes OnlyFans as sex work, but if you were, everyone has different sort of constitutions and is built. Some people can do an OnlyFans. Some people do OnlyFans and it takes a soul toll on them. Just like some people can be escorts, no problem. And some people, they'll be an escort and it takes a toll on their soul and they're just not built for it, whatever. And some people can have, my very good friend, my freaking Zia, who's a bridesmaid in my wedding, is married, has an OnlyFans, and has a great relationship with her husband. So you can't tell me that you're going to end up a miserable cat lady if you do OnlyFans, when it's like, no, I have close friends of mine that are in relationships and marriages who do OnlyFans and it's not an issue.
So like the couple next to me does OnlyFans and they're legit married. So clearly you can be married. They're saying they're in a happy relationship. They have a child. Clearly you can be married and have OnlyFans. But it's like she also at one point was like, well, this is why you're 33 and single. And it's like, I just got out of a long-term relationship with my boyfriend who's like the person in my OnlyFans with me. And it's only been 5 months. And like, I don't think it would be healthy for me to jump straight back in another relationship. I think at the point now, it's healthy to find a new relationship, but I think it would be stranger if I went from one boyfriend to the next. Like, I'm not gonna date someone just to date them, but like that has nothing to do with why I'm single. It has nothing to do with why we broke up. I'm like, did you call him before this and ask him who he voted for, what his core values and traditions are, how we plan to raise our children? Because like we thought we were each other's people for a while, like, did you vet him? Did you ask him? Because he knows how I feel about politics. Everyone around me knows, like, it's not a secret, like, at all, if you know me.
I think it would have been more productive. There were a lot of people on the show trying to tell you, Kristy, that you weren't conservative, that because you do OnlyFans, you cannot be a conservative. There's no possible way you can have any traditional belief or desire for your life because you do OnlyFans. And I think it would have been a more productive conversation. Like, I would have loved to have heard someone try to make the case. No, actually, Kristy, like, you're more possibly like a libertarian, like how I would identify myself. It's kind of more of like a, kind of live and let live. Let people make their own decisions. You really shouldn't try to control how people live their lives, just like you wouldn't want someone to like force trans your kids,
Yeah, like I thought we were all on the side of like facts and freedom, and I feel like they were getting a little too emotional.
And it's like, are you kidding me? Girl, don't. This is what bothers me about the and I have complaints about the left and the right, but like what bothers me about conservatives, like it's so easy for them to get on their high horse of this whole like, oh, it's because it's like, you don't care. They didn't care about you. They don't care what happens to you. No one's gonna follow up with you in 6 months and see how OnlyFans has affected your life. No one's gonna be like, how are you doing in your breakup? Oh my God. Like no one's gonna send you a baby gift when you finally give birth. It's like
they didn't even ask that during the show though. They didn't ask her like, are you okay after this breakup?
They didn't want to acknowledge that I was even in a relationship, even though I kept telling them that my OnlyFans journey has only ever been with a boyfriend. Like I met him. When I met him, I was a Pilates instructor. Like they also said like OnlyFans is ruining my life as if it's like the only job I've ever had. Like I've literally had so many other jobs. It's just like nuts.
And the thing is, you're an adult.
Real estate, right?
Anybody who does OnlyFans, it's like I would say most girls know, okay, this is forever on the internet. what happens to these images is completely out of my control. And it's like, if you're not okay with that, you shouldn't be doing it, you know? And if you very specifically want to date and marry the specific kind of man that would not like a woman who does that, okay, then you avoid that. But that is, again, like, that's a smaller percentage of people. I think most people are kind of I don't know, I think most dudes, and maybe I'm just basing it off how my guy friends feel, but if it's just sort of
I can
not necessarily porn, if it's not necessarily porn, but like bikini photos, lingerie photos, I think a lot of guys would be fine with that.
I'm absolutely fine with that.
But maybe I'm totally wrong.
I would celebrate that.
I think because most of my guy friends are kind of in the middle and more libertarian.
I mean, I would have some worries. I'm not gonna lie. I would have some worries. Like, it would really depend on how the girl acts for me. You know, like, if she is posting those photos and I can sense, like, she's getting all of her self-worth from what's coming from posting those photos, I would worry. That would not be the girl I'd be interested in. But when you know someone like Zia, let's say, that's someone who Chrissy and I know. Well, Chrissy, you know, like she said, she was in the wedding party, whatnot. You meet Zia, it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl, Zia's going to treat you exactly the same as a friend, as someone to joke with. Like, you don't feel like, as a guy, when I'm around Zia, I don't even feel like, not in a negative way, I don't feel an attraction to her, because literally my brain almost connects with her like a dude. Like, I'm so happy to see her, not because, ooh, hot chick is here. I'm happy to see her because, ooh, hilarious chick that can hang with us just like a dude does is here. You know, and everything she does with her photos, even online, like, she does post, like, very, like, you know, awesome pictures of herself. And I can, as a dude, appreciate, like, wow, like, Zia, yeah, she's freaking hot. But, like, in no way, shape, or form, like, I need that. Like, you know, and then you meet her husband, and Nick is, like, one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet, you know, and it's a very nuanced thing, you know, for guys. If we could sense that, like, oh, she's doing that because inside herself is something broken, then there's a worry, because then she's gonna need to fill that hole. So, like, yeah, for most dudes, it's kind of like, ooh, this is like a trophy, you know. But me personally, I don't really look for, like, the trophy. I just want to stop being alone. That would be nice. But, like, you know, so, like, yeah, as a dude, that's my way in to this. There you go.
Yeah. And, like, maybe I'm not... What I was also trying to tell them is, like, we're all different people. We're all on different paths. Like, we're all going to meet someone completely different. And, like, maybe my guy isn't going to be, well, or definitely isn't going to be as traditional as Isabella's, as conservative, but it doesn't mean he's not going to be traditional or conservative, or that we're not traditional or conservative. It's just, like, I think there are extremes to, like, every single topic and category, and it doesn't mean, like, I don't have those values, but, like,
right,
maybe we're more open-minded to certain things, or maybe we have tougher skin, but it's like the person that I end up with versus Isabella, or if you look at our dating history, are clearly very different people. But that doesn't mean, like, we don't have common grounds in some places in the conservative community and traditions, and and politics in general. Like,
yeah, Brenna, did you feel while you were on the panel with Kristy that, because this is how I feel, I want to see if you agree with me because you were there, that mostly people would agree with Kristy's values that were on the other side of the table. But I think the moment she tried to categorize herself as a conservative, she's putting herself in that group, then they really sort of had a problem with her categorization of herself. When at the end of the day, who fucking cares really what you call yourself, how you live your life, your values? Again, like Fealty was, that only matters to your immediate circle. It's just, I find it fascinating that the categorization was the huge problem. It's like, no, you're not in my club. And Kristy's like, but these are the things I value. Like that's the important part, right? And who knows if maybe she doesn't have the definition of conservative 100% accurate. Who the fuck cares? I just found it so curious how quick they were to be like, you're not in my group. No.
Yeah, and we tried making like solid points. Like, you guys, we're a lot more similar than you think, but it's like nothing we said, they could agree with. And Kristy and I talked about this afterwards. It was like that whole side of the table, it just felt like they thought they were better than us. It was like they were up here and, well, I met my husband at 23 and he's the only one I've slept. Good for you. Like Kristy said, I wish I met.
That'd be nice. Yeah. Wouldn't we all love that? Yeah.
So it's just
piety.
Yeah. So like, yes, we have similar beliefs and values, but why do you care why we're still single right now or what our path is? It was just like so judgmental. And
well, they thought you did OnlyFans. What did you think when they were telling you like you did OnlyFans?
Yeah, I was like, no. I'm not doing OnlyFans. I work a 9 to 5, and they asked about body count, and it was just, again, it's like nothing even that I said. It was just like, well, why is your body count this? And, why are your views about this a certain way? And it was just like so judgmental. And
right.
Yeah.
They were let down. They were so let down when they said like, oh, and you do OnlyFans. And you were like, I don't do OnlyFans. And they were like, what? Now we can't like berate her.
People say that to me all the time. They're like, Chrissy, you do OnlyFans. I'm like, no, I don't. Like,
yeah. I do 9 to 5. Yeah. So
it's like one time, one pick, one asshole shot. $1,000.
Our friend says that. Our friend.
From last week, Chrissy, Keanu, she says that's one of her jokes. Because she does, OnlyFans.
I think if, just let people do what they want to do with their lives. Everyone knows the internet is forever. Everyone knows when they join, or they should know when you join OnlyFans. Yeah, you have that was when I was briefly, and I mean briefly considering it years ago. I was like, no, think about every person you would not want seeing these photos, your exes, relatives, old bosses. Think about how you would feel if they saw these, if they saw this content. And then I was like, oh, nope, could never do it. And I think that's something that most girls who join consider that fact. And that, if they've considered all these things and they're an adult, what consenting adults do to make money is entirely their business. And I think I'm sick of this preachy, grandstanding, like feigning of caring about somebody's life and like how their choices are going to affect them, when it's like, no, you're here to kind of be judgy and be the one that's right rather than try to like help someone or give someone advice. But I know that not everyone is there to like help and give advice.
Yeah, I mean, and then at one point, Roslyn, I think that's how you say his name.
Ruslin.
He was like, but I don't know. I'm like Roslyn.
I forgot his name, like in the private messages between me and Chrissy. She was like, "Oh, Roslyn." I was like, "Who? The Q guy who was from the Sunday episode?" And she's like, "No, from the previous one." I was like, "Oh, he was so great. I remembered him." Like,
yeah, exactly. But like, he was like, when you watch this back, he goes, I think that you think people are attacking you on we're not, and when you watch this back, you'll see that you're actually projecting on us. And I was like, no, that's not the case at all. You're projecting on me. And like watching it back shows like my point even more. Like,
well, that's actually what led me to message you. Like, honestly, that's what made me feel so grotesque watching it the first time through, was that they said things like that to you, like, you should rewatch it and you'll see like you're projecting on us, when that's what they're doing to you. They also would tell you to shut up, like literally shut up and take the bashing. And then they'd be like, we're not bashing, while they're reading 20 freaking plus super chats, $2,000+ worth of bashing. And then they're saying things about you. And then they're saying things about Brenna that's like, oh, you do OnlyFans. And she's like, I don't do OnlyFans. And it's like the whole, like, the lunacy of just the whole situation, when the whole time I'm looking at the screen and I'm like, there's a kook sitting right there. He sells his wife. What are you doing? Talk to the koof, you know? It's like...
I can't stand the judgment from people. I'm like, really, this is like burning me up. Like the judgment from people on the right, you know, conservatives. And it's like, you want to blame OnlyFans for the downfall of society? It's like, well, then dial it back, because why don't you go ahead and blame Instagram? Because a lot of girls are putting the exact same kind of content on their OnlyFans as they would for free on Instagram. And by the way, a lot of conservative women who think they're so fucking moral and righteous, well, they'll be covered up, but in a skin tight top with their like with their tits looking awesome, and they'll be like, "What? Who? Me? I'm not a sexual being." You know, they'll have like mad cleavage on their Instagram or on their social media, but they'll shame you, Kristy, for being in like a lingerie pic on Instagram or fucking OnlyFans. It's like, let's not pretend that the conservative chicks are not also using their sexuality to their advantage to make money and in their business for their brand overall. Like, can we stop pretending that, please? That bothers me so much.
Yeah.
When can we also admit Trump changed what conservative is? Like, I just gotta say it. Like, when Trump came in, he changed everything. Yes. He made conservatism about populism, and he made conservatism about conserving the Constitution. Not just about, like, traditions and religions and stuff, but conserving what makes us all free, which is the core tenets of what's important. You know, instead of being like, all right, well, you know, yes, there's Christians, there's Muslims, there's this, there's that, and they could all come together to conserve freedom so that they could all exist. And that's what's important. That's what we need to conserve. And Trump is the leader of everything because he's the only option, you know? Yeah. So it's like, can we just finally admit that? We keep on saying conservatism,
really
but like...
I hate to interrupt. I just did an interview with a woman today who she didn't do the exposing herself, but she was talking about this guy who just basically unearthed that Vivek Ramaswamy took something like 70 or 90 grand to go to Yale.
90.
And it was 90 grand from George Soros to go to Yale, like at a weirdly sort of older age, like older than the normal age you would go to college. And like just all this proof that he is kind of,
even though he was rich,
they want to shape him. Yeah, he made like $2 million that year, and he lied about it. He said he took the money because he was broke and couldn't afford to go to school, and really he had the money to go. And it is looking like they are shaping him up to be the kind of right wing Obama. They're like, well, he's not of the establishment. He's brown. You know, that should make people feel comfortable, right? You know, and then we have DeSantis, who's like, well, if you don't like Trump, but you need a milquetoast middle-aged white man, DeSantis is your man. You know, if you want someone who's going to fall downstairs for 4 more years, maybe go for Pence. So they're really just trying to split up the vote as early as possible. But we'll see. I'm not trying to, like, you know.
We're supposed to be uniting. Yeah. Like, not like there's already enough separation. But it's like one of the things I always hated about like being a politician is you have to have this like squeaky clean like background. And it's like, Trump kind of changed that, and it's like, why can't we just be a normal person but still have values and beliefs and like still want to like run the country a certain way? It's like either these people are just really like they're just really good at hiding their skeletons in their closet. It's not like they're not actually doing these things. And Trump was grabbed her by the, I don't know if I can say the P word on here. So I'm not going to, but like he's like everyone.
Wow, the restraint. Like we have not shown that much restraint on this show ever, really.
I was like, I don't know if I can say that, but
Find
it's like,
a P.
Yeah, guys, like, but he's like, yeah, that's locker room talk. Like everyone talks like that. It's like everyone has like we're all sexual beings. Like it doesn't mean that we don't have intelligence or like doesn't mean that we don't have core values and beliefs.
It's wild to me, like the amount of dudes who watch porn. I mean, like, for how many years has Playboy been a thing? Like centerfolds, like were women getting shamed? Were women who do OnlyFans now? Is that equivalent to the amount of shaming that like a model in doing a nude centerfold in Playboy would get? Like, would the amount of shaming be the same, or is it comparable? It just seems like more because there's just more of it. There's just it's been able to be so prolific because anybody can have a social media account, anybody can do their own centerfold, and it's unlimited comment section. Whereas in, you know, Marilyn Monroe, did she really know like how hated she was? Probably not. She's just blissfully fucking JFK, leaving her panties in the bed for Jackie Kennedy to find. You know, she had a tough life.
But it's like, this wouldn't even be like a thing if men weren't the consumers, and it's like a supply and demand thing. I mean,
but Kristy, don't you know
Kristy,
don't you know if you stopped doing OnlyFans, men would stop looking at women over.
Exactly.
There'd be no more. When men would stop looking at porn, men would cease to look at anybody else on OnlyFans. All of it would stop just with you.
Yes, you should save my life. Why do you do this to me? Why does all the porn do this?
Save them, Kristy.
Also, like I said on like the first one that I was on, like the Tuesday one we were on, I was like, men are gonna lust after me no matter if they find me on OnlyFans or if I was their real estate agent or as their Pilates instructor, or if I'm just walking around walking my dogs when I go to the pool. Like, this has been happening to me my whole life, not just because I have an OnlyFans. Like,
true.
I like it's just like, it's gonna happen no matter what. I mean, really, it's like, who am I compared to the people sitting next to me? Like,
and you know what? There's always going to be temptation. And if you are a man who wants to promote like those conservative values, well, then guess what? You need to make sure your ass is bulletproof against temptation, because at the end of the day, all we can control is ourselves. And it's like, I just find that a lot of these guys that are very judgmental of like women in the industry, it's like, yeah, go look at their browser history, go see who they're liking and following on Instagram. Most of them are total hypocrites, and at the end of the day, like, you really can't judge someone else. Hey, if you don't want to be tempted by other women on the internet, well, do what you need to do with yourself and your relationship so that is bulletproof and that you cannot be tempted, because you just everyone needs to just work, and that's all you have control over anyway, is yourself, your family, and maybe your good friends, right? Like, if you had a good friend that's like, oh, coming to you like, well, I'm upset, it's because of OnlyFans, I'd be like, okay, good friend, maybe quit, maybe go back to work at the bagel place, you know what I mean?
That was like one of my points too. It's like, I don't have control over anyone's actions but my own. And they were trying to act as if like I have voodoo dolls of all these people.
And you can't. And here's the thing too, is you can't shame someone into having different or better values. Like, how many of us have been shamed into our current beliefs? Probably nobody. Most of us were teenagers and rebelled against our parents in some way, so we certainly don't want to be told what to do as adults.
My parents really didn't care.
Oh, Fealty, I'll be your mom.
They knew we were good kids, and they just figured, go out into the world. If they mess up, they mess up. What can you do? And we didn't really mess up.
Yeah, learn that way. Yeah,
exactly.
I just think the best way to promote a conservative lifestyle is to be that, if you're a woman who judges other women, I better never see your tits out. I better never see your cleavage. I better see you in loose fitting clothing, because you're going to look like a hypocrite. And
And I dated a Hasidic Jew, so I'm just saying, like,
wow.
I know what conservatism.
How is the blowjob? Is what I've heard about Jewish women correct?
Everything was amazing. She wasn't always Hasidic, I mean,
okay.
she had to climb out her front window of her house because she lived with her grandparents who were Hasidic. She moved out of her mom's house, and so they made her be practicing Hasidic. So, like, I know what, like, you know, stockings all the way up, full dress, long sleeves, loose clothing, like,
Next to
honestly... No, more like the
no?
backseat of a car outside of a church at like 2 a.m. But you know, good times. You know, but like
A church,
honestly,
not a temple.
I liked it.
Interesting.
No, well,
Yeah.
I'm Catholic, you know, Italian. You know, but like I liked it a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie. As a dude, I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of like opening up a present every time. Like, ooh, like what's
Because she was
underneath all
wearing
this?
so many clothes.
Yeah, it was like, and it took longer to get everything off. Like, you know, if a girl just wears a skirt, you know, it's kind of like, all right, you know, we're there.
You know, my grandmother would have loved you, Fealty, because she used at Christmas time, she would wrap presents. Like she would take like this and then wrap it in a box and then put that in a box and then wrap it and then she
I've
did it
done that
4-5 times. And that seems
Oh,
to
yeah.
be what you love.
I did that. I did that to my brother like so many Christmases. I do it with tinfoil, so it's harder to actually open, you know, and you know, duct tape, and it takes forever. You know, worth it.
Wow. Did you feel, Brenna and Kristy, that there was a sort of a concerted effort to sort of like purposely misunderstand you rather than, hey, what can we come together and agree on?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just think the moment we arrived, it's Kristy and I arrived, we had a good buzz going. We're like excited. And then we get there and it was just like, nobody's talking. It's just like, they're not making you feel at home. We're like, you know, ramping you up. And so we're just sitting there awkwardly. Like Kristy and I are texting each other we're sitting right next to each other, but we're like, oh my gosh, like this is so awkward right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So like
how on a scale from 1 to 10, how comfortable were the seats you were in?
I didn't really notice the seats, but I guess that means they weren't that comfortable if I didn't notice them.
But we were in the corner.
Yeah, we were in the corner. Yeah, they I mean, they didn't offer us any beverages or snacks.
Like we literally went in there just trying to be like our happy self. Like whenever me and Brenna are together, we usually are nonstop laughing all the time together and just like building off each other's energy. Mm-hmm. And we expected like people to be on like a show to be like, I don't know, entertaining and happy to be there.
You had to provide all of it.
And then we were like, okay, wait, this totally just buzzkilled us. Like, why is everyone so like boring and low and like? I mean, we did talk. What?
Who you two actually remind me of? Did you guys follow like the early days of Call Her Daddy with Sophia and what's her name, Alexandra? You guys remind me of like a much better, more authentic version.
Oh, well, that's perfect because we're gonna start our own podcast.
Yeah,
so.
That would be so great.
Yeah, we want to make
right,
ours
listen.
is gonna be funny. People are gonna have a sense of humor that listen to ours.
Yeah. It'll be funny.
And make sure you have uncomfortable chairs and limited bathroom breaks.
Our tagline, exactly. One of our taglines, we have a couple, but one of them is you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's like, why can't we just like laugh and joke a little? Like, I don't know. Everyone, clearly no one funny watches the whatever podcast.
No. And like, so we get there and then Brian's like, you guys can take photos, like take a selfie. So Kristy asked him like, hey, do you mind taking a photo of us? And he's like, I can't, I'm busy right now. Like, okay.
But it was his idea. I also didn't even know he was the host, to be honest. I just thought he was like,
it's hard to tell. Even from watching the show, it's hard to tell that he's the host.
Yeah.
You're like, who's
Do you think he got that vibe though of you like treating him like he was just like a worker there?
Probably. Take your photo. But we have one question because he told us this was the time to take pictures. So like, okay, great. Can you take one? Like, how else are we gonna do
I don't
it?
think he like that. Yeah. So that's how we started off.
Brenda, did you?
Wait,
I see.
Is this it?
Oh, yeah, with
somebody else.
Yeah, but someone else took it. I think it was the girl in the red that took it. Lila.
Oh, Lila, yeah.
That's cute.
Which, by the way, and Chrissy, you pointed this out last time, but first of all, if you did, like, she liked me enough that we did have a conversation. We were waiting outside before they let us in, before it got all awkward. Like, she liked me enough to tell me she was pregnant. And like, why would you tell a stranger that you're like not having a good conversation with that? That's why I just thought everyone must know. So why would you tell me something
I think
confident?
Chrissy, to prove how traditional she is, of course.
She didn't even know my job at this point. I think if we didn't go around and say what our job titles were, and we just went around and talked about political beliefs, they would have liked me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that's when they decided, like, it was like, oh, you know, and then the cowardice took over the three of them, and instead of going after the kook, as I call him, everyone calls me, everybody knows him as the kook. They say he's the kook, you know, they see him on the streets, everybody says he's the kook. But, like, you know, they didn't want to go after that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible, but it's great. But it's huge, Chrissy. Everybody said they love it.
Please stop.
I can't stop. I love it. It's so much fun. You should try it.
I saw a couple of comments in the chat. Brenna, did you feel, because you're a very polite person, I can tell, like you're not an interrupter. You're like very comfortable in yourself. Did you feel almost like thwarted or stifled from participating more when you were on the whatever show?
I think
or did you just feel like they didn't really draw you out?
Yeah, I just think it just took me by surprise because, like we said, we went in there. Kristy and I had notes on all of our crazy dating stories, and we came in there with a plan. And then when that plan was not what we were expecting, it was just like I was kind of like stunned. And there is lots of like clips of me, and my sister sent them to me, like my facial expressions, because I'm just like, what is happening right now? And yeah, it was just...
You both were whispering a lot. I did notice that, like, you would have like little powwows, and like when you were talking, like, yeah, you were like,
yeah,
like
we were like, how did we get here? Like, the application was like, do you have funny dating stories? I listed like 7 funny dating stories that I was like prepared to talk about, since it's like a dating show, and like so did Brenna. So like we're just like, oh, I hope we remember all these stories.
Yeah. We took notes at the bar before, like having our drink. Like, okay, we're gonna mention this.
And then they didn't ask anything except for the one midget story.
Yeah, they did ask that one.
Was it a short story?
Yeah, a short story and a short person.
Oh my God.
Had to be done. It had to be done.
I'm going to go through some of these questions from the chat from David Lowe. Thank you, David. Chrissy, what were you thinking about in that whatever Wednesday's thumbnail pic? You looked utterly unimpressed with something. You know, Frank just goes, make a confused face, and then he takes the very first shot, and then he uses the very first shot, and then that's the thumbnail. So
wait, what's the thumbnail?
It's me just going like, it's just a stupid.
I saw that.
As a
I think you're holding a mug too.
Yeah, it's I don't like how I look in most thumbnails, but I'm trying not to be high maintenance. Deranged Lunatic Chrissy, do your best impression of McConnell. Oh God, Mitch McConnell today as he was rebooting. Okay, I'm gonna do a Mitch McConnell impression. Somebody asked me a question if I'm gonna run for re-election.
Chrissy, are you going to run for re-election?
And here's what I noticed. If you've been around old people, he went into a little bit of a stroke face. I think he's having a mini stroke a week until he dies. You know, nobody will put this man out of his misery. It's just, how many times are you going to let a man reboot for an audience before you realize, like, oh, he needs to be taken to pasture?
Oh, yeah.
Isabella, hey Chrissy, I wrote a song. Good for you. Thank you for the super chat. David Lowe, it's a bit brighter when you're around, Chrissy. Ah, shucks. Thank you, David. You're a G. Mark of reality. Not all conservatives are Christians. They are rugged individualists, according to Rush Limbaugh. And Reagan was our first divorced president. Well, look at that.
Was he? Wow.
That's pretty neat.
And Trump was, I guess, the second. And Obama's technically not married to a woman.
Why are labels so important? I think because we as human beings, like, there's only so much time in the day. You can only be friends with so many people. I think labels and categories are a way to quickly, like, sort of dismiss somebody because it's just like, oh, good. Now I don't have to take you seriously or listen and see if you make any good points. It's like, oh, you're not a conservative because of this. Goodbye. And it's like, well, you could still have a good conversation with that person. Like, you could still bond on something.
Maybe we should just be like, are you red or blue? And then like let it like be a little bit more open and not have to get so mad. Like, if I'm not a real conservative. It's like on Bumble and Hinge, you can either be conservative, moderate, or liberal. So like I would have chose Republican, but that's not even an option. So things have become like Republican and conservative kind of blended together. Democrat and liberal. But it's like, we're already divided enough, so why is that even like a bad thing? Like,
why is that even a question? Although if I were on a dating app, I think I could tell from their photos where they were politically. I mean,
exactly.
I'd be like, this guy's posing with a latte machine. I'm going to steer clear.
I do wonder what it's like for girls on there, though. I mean,
it's the worst. Yeah,
it sucks for guys. I mean, for guys, it's like it's lovely. You could go like 8 months and never even get a match once. You know, it's peaceful.
You're just not on the right one.
Oh no, the right one is not on there. I could guarantee that at least. You know, I mean,
people, you have to endure a relationship. Oh, is this a callback to there was a guy on the podcast that said you have to endure even if it's like the shittiest scenario possible.
Yeah, that was on Mary Morgan's.
Oh, right. Real Black Betty. Thanks for the super chat. Please, for the love of God, make an OnlyFans of your feet only, Chrissy. You'd be rich. They're perfect. I know that. Okay, I was a foot model.
You could do Feet Finder.
Yeah,
I'm on WikiFeet. Here's the thing. I have thought about this. If I make an OnlyFans of my feet, like that is now another job that I'm doing. This is like, now I have to like buy different outfits for my feet. I have to up my sock game entirely. I can't be walking around with holes in my socks. Like, I have to make sure the pedicures are always on point.
You gotta get a hyperbaric chamber just for your feet.
Yeah, I'll have to soak them. I'll have to I have to fluff them. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. The answer is maybe, but also I don't know. That's just, I don't know. I probably would make an ungodly amount of money, which I should do since I want to save up for a house. I'll think about it.
It's just feet.
That's true. It's just feet.
Yeah.
Maybe I should make an OnlyFans just of my beard.
I'm sure people would love that. People have their fetishes.
See, no, people would love that, but the downside would just be like gay guys, like, ooh, we love bears, you know. And I'd be like, well, that's my life now.
True. Could pass as a
gay
bear.
icon. I probably could. You know, I'd be a gay icon. Just telling you.
Wow. This is just, I'm a little just annoyed. I wish that Isabella had come on because I think a lot of good conversation could have been had in a setting that like maybe was not like the whatever podcast is not conducive to like I don't know. They really want snazzy clips, I think, and I don't think they're there to facilitate any kind of like mind changing and advice giving. Because I think like for all the notes Brian writes down, it's not like he uses them later. He'll immediately forget names. He'll forget ages. It's like he'll ask you your age, but then never bring it up ever again, and it'll never be relevant in the next 5 hours. So
it's for the
is that just a metric with which I guess it's a metric with which the viewer can judge each of the guests.
Yeah,
So
it's an egg. He's MGTOW. He's totally MGTOW. You know,
he is, and here's what I noticed on the most recent episode. Although I didn't see the one with the American Gladiators,
it was
but
good.
Brian spoke a little bit more on one of the more recent ones about how he came to be where he's at, like his feelings on women. And if I were there, like I would love to interview Brian. I would love to be like, and I don't mean this in a shitty way, but like who hurt you and like what, cause he was going off about how like, you know, you need to have that prenup and women are out to take all your money and you can, you know, once you get the state involved, like, you know, someone's religion and the church doesn't really matter because a woman will go, you know, explore the divorce through the state. So then the church and the religion don't matter at that point. Like he was making some points where I was like, oh, either he or someone he knows very closely got really fucked, like really burned in a divorce. And like, and I found that fascinating. And you know, because it always makes sense when you hear, you know, where people come from, they could have what sounds like an extreme view, but when you hear about their experience, you're like, I understand how you got to that place. So
yeah, one of the questions he asked me, he's like, Bren, do you think chivalry, I can't ever say that word. Chivalry is dead. And I'm like, yeah, like guys these days, they don't open car doors even for you. It's just like the little things. It's just like, I feel like from, you know, seeing my parents, how my dad is versus guys these days, just completely different. And then he brought up, when he goes on dates, he always makes the woman pay. And he's like, I don't care. Or they split. And he's like, even if it's coffee, like she's always splitting. I never pay for her. And it was just like, okay, well, yeah, you're part of the problem here, which, you know, I'm fine with paying, but he was like, no, I'll never pay, like fully, never. Like, even if she's my wife, it was just like, what?
Yeah. And either way, like there's typical ways in which like, and you know, I've been burned in relationships just like most of us. And I think there's telltale ways that men broadcast their hurt, just like there are telltale ways that women will broadcast their hurt. You know, when you feel like there's an overreaction to something or like, wow, that's a bit intense, or like, whoa, like really telling me, you're telling me 6 months in you still won't pay for a date, like, or
like a coffee, like if the $8 bothers you, like,
yeah. So yeah, he's definitely been hurt.
And you just can't.
He was a liberal, to be honest, from like experiencing him on the show because of how he said he wasn't gonna pay for the first date. Like I was like, oh, that's very like liberal.
I think a guy that is afraid of being it comes from a deep place of insecurity, because if you don't think that your personality, I'm not saying like if you have a great personality you can be broke, but I'm just saying like most guys have jobs and work. Like most guys are not like completely broke, you know what I mean? And I think it comes from an insecure place when a guy won't pay for a cup of coffee because they're projecting into the future. Well, if I pay for this cup of coffee, I'm setting myself up to be robbed of half of my earnings. So
yeah. I'm like, I mean, I pointed this out on Sunday's show and they hated it because of course they don't like any of my ideas. But I was like, do you know how much a girl spends just to get ready to go on that date, whether it's for drinks, coffee, dinner, like to get your hair done, even if you're blowing it out yourself, just like the cost of like keeping up with your hair in general, spending money on makeup, spending money on outfits, like whether you have eyelash extensions, whatever, like it's so much money just to like present yourself in a way that you want so you get dates with these guys. Like we're definitely spending more money in general.
For sure.
Than them for like a dinner date. Just getting ready alone.
Yeah.
And what would you say to someone who would then be like, well, then don't spend the money. Like just do a pared down version.
Right. They're like, oh, there's be natural. And it's like, okay, but I want to attract a guy that appreciates that. I want a guy that like does one. I don't think there's anything wrong, which might be controversial, with being like a trophy wife. Like I want like someone that's like, you're proud to have them on your arm.
Yeah. But I also would never date someone like Brian. like that.
I would never.
No.
I would never.
Yeah.
He is very confusing. He's like a confusing person. I think he's kind of hypocritical.
For sure.
I think he's an interesting guy, and clearly, like, he's brought the podcast to a place where it's wildly successful. I mean, they have people throwing in $100 super chats the way people throw $2 super chats here. So he's clearly like locked on to something good. But again, like, I'm someone who I do a lot of one-on-one interviews, and when I hear little nuggets, like little pain nuggets, not that I want to exploit that, of course. I want to go, oh, like, let's flip over that rock. Like, what's under that, like, as I'm sure most people do when they hear something that sounds like a little out of the ordinary. You're like, okay, like, what caused this? Like, can we talk about this? And I think when you talk about that, it helps to kind of like soften you up, not only to everybody else at the table, but like to the people viewing at home.
Yeah.
I want to like learn more about him. I'm fascinated by Brian, and I just want him to open up.
There was a lot that came out yesterday, actually.
To give the answers, and then we'll, at least for me, bash answers. But it's like, how come you're not saying your answers to these questions?
Right.
Like, since we're going around the table, let's talk about you. I asked him what his number is, and I'm pretty sure he didn't tell me.
Oh.
Yeah, they asked him again last night too.
Yeah, right. He didn't answer it, did he?
No, he did. He refused to answer how many he slept with, but he did answer some of the people he did sleep with.
Wait, did he give a ratio?
No, he did not give a ratio.
We need to figure out our ratios.
Yeah, let's figure out his ratio. Because I bet it's like on the higher side, because I don't think he has like that many options.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have game.
He doesn't have a good personality, so
No.
there's that.
But that's not his fault. That's women's fault.
Oh yeah,
right.
It's true.
He's the victim in all this.
Exactly. That's why I thought he was a liberal.
I did too. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. That's so. Are there any stories or nuggets that you would have liked to have brought up, but like maybe there wasn't time for, or it just didn't happen?
Well, they didn't ask us any of our dating stories really, and it's like, if they wanted to like make me look slutty or in a negative light, they should have asked me some of these stories that I thought were funny, but maybe if they asked me, they could then like hate on me for like being in these situations. Like, I told them in my application that I one time was scrolling through Facebook. I'd been hooking up with this guy, interested in this guy for a while, but we like matched on Bumble and like we're trying to meet up, but our schedules weren't working. Then months later, I end up actually hooking up with him like regularly. I'm scrolling on Facebook and I see he posts a picture on the golf course with Donald Trump. And I'm like, that's really cool. And it's like a huge group photo.
No. You're like, that's my soulmate.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, yes, he's with Trump. That's amazing. So I scroll in. I'm like, who are his friends? Like into the photo. And I start clicking. And I'm like, oh my God, there's a guy that I hooked up with in this photo. They must be friends. And then I click on his name and I find out it's his brother. So
oh wow!
I accidentally hooked up with brothers and had no idea. And it's like, he literally could have like asked me that story to try to make me sound slutty because they were all trying to say like, oh, their ratios must be so high. They're such big sluts. Like it's like that would have helped prove your point, even though it was a complete accident.
Yeah, it's hard to have sympathy for the guys that are like, oh, if you have slept with anybody ever, you don't deserve to be married. When it's like, really, can we dial it back to like all of my teenage years when I was trying my darndest to be a prude, but I got head push after head push after head push after being pushed into a corner. You know what I mean? Like, and if you're somebody who pushed a girl's head down in your teenage years and in your 20s, or heck, even now, you know what I mean? Like, and the hypocrisy blows my mind, because it's like, I tried so hard. You know what I mean? Like, I was such a freaking prude, but it's like, yes, sometimes people are going to push your head down and you kind of don't have a choice in the matter. And it's like, I can't stand the hypocrisy of, and these same people will be the same ones like frustrated and harumphing, like if they, you know, if they pay for something and a girl doesn't put out right away. It's wild to me.
Yeah, and like they're trying to make like the body count number. They want, excuse me, they want you to say your body count so badly so that you can look either like slutty or not, which is why I brought up the ratio thing. But what I think is a lot sluttier, if this is like a competition, is like having sex sooner. So like I didn't have sex till I was 18. The Roslin guy, who's like super duper religious, he says he met his wife when he was 17 and he had slept with 3 other girls, which means he probably started having sex around 15 or 16. How many opportunities do you have to have sex at that age as a guy?
This is where the ratio comes in.
Yeah, probably 3. And he took all 3 opportunities before he was even 18. And now it's like, oh, but he's been married forever, so he's better than me
now.
Like, I waited longer than you, and you probably only had 3 opportunities. Probably. I can't imagine you having more than 3 opportunities before you're 17 as a guy. Like, I really just can't.
Right. Like, and here's the thing, Kristy. This whole situation is set up. So the expectation, right? We'll say the average woman gets more opportunities for sex than the average man, right? Yeah. But this whole situation is set up. So that means the average woman has to have be far pickier, has to have far more self-control. You know, maybe they are like horny. That means they have to like turn down an actual sexual impulse, right? That means like women are expected to have far more self-control, self-restraint, and sometimes these things happen, you know, like I explained earlier, against your will in a sense. And but then again, like you're expecting all of this in a culture where most guys watch porn. Most women are encouraged to show their bodies. Most men will positively encourage like a woman wearing a shorter skirt over a longer one. So it's like you really can't expect most women to act in this way when we live in a society that largely promotes the opposite. And it's easier, of course, to demonize and single out the one girl who's like, wait a minute, like it was either be a stripper or do OnlyFans or work at a bagel store, and which one of them is going to get me, you know, out of poverty quickest. And you can't really blame somebody for making those choices and then be like, oh my God, you're used up. It's like, okay. Yeah. And I'm somebody who's worked 15 years in 9-to-5 jobs for bosses that treated me horribly, where I didn't take a lunch hour, where I wouldn't take my vacation days. And like, sure, some of that is me not standing up for myself and not like taking, you know, but you know what I mean? You're just trying to suck up and like be a good employee, but all the while you're cutting yourself down. And it's like, I feel like many jobs I've had were far more denigrating than, you know, I don't know, selling foot pics or selling bikini pictures. And I think it's easy to judge when you've had kind of an easy life, or money comes to you easily, or you've always had jobs that have made decent money. I'm not saying like, you know, you need to feel bad for women who can easily make money off their bodies, but you can't really shame the individual when you kind of zoom out and look at the context of the world that we're living in.
Right. And also like they're assuming just because I have an OnlyFans and just like Brenna doesn't even have one, and they're just making assumptions about her too, that we have these high ratios. Like, sorry that we're like good looking, but
sorry, not like, sorry.
You know, like, I worked at a bar, and I'm not going to say which one. I don't want to like get in trouble by mentioning names, but I worked at a bar and I got fired because I refused to have a threesome with one of the owners. So it's like my ratio is not even nearly as high. Like I do have morals, I do have values. Like a lot of people would have felt like very stuck and just like did something because they felt like they didn't have a chance. And I like literally did choose like getting fired and not having a job for an entire month over that. Like they're not even like they're just making judgments.
I have a wedgie, sorry.
I
I have a crazy, insane wedgie. It, like so much so that I have to get out of frame to pick it. Like this is not even a wedgie. It's part of my body now. It's like it's part of my internal organs. Huh.
Yeah, that's weird.
This is like so far beyond a wedgie at this point. Like it's the whole force of denim going inside my body. Okay.
Yeah,
I know how that feels because
Dude.
I accidentally forgot to pack underwear.
She did.
How anyone can wear shorts or like any kind of denim with no underwear blows my mind. Because
I
it's like
don't. Kristy forgot.
It's a tough fabric.
And she's like, "How do you do this?" And I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't bother me. But she said the same thing. She's like, "I can't do denim without underwear."
I never thought I would, and I sat through the whole whatever podcast in denim without underwear.
Wow.
I know.
You really held it together.
In the corner chair.
Yeah.
I would have lost it. I would have lost my mind.
But like,
this,
you know
even
what?
this wedgie persists. I can tell it wants to go back up there. It's trying to crawl back up into my snatch.
Camel toes are in though, I think so.
Oh, are they?
Munty toes.
Yeah, it's wild to me. Like, I'm just imagining, like, let's see if I could dial back the clock to college, right? And you're at a college party, and everyone there is between the ages of what, like 17 and 21, and you're like, you know what? Let me go back in time. I'm gonna live my life perfectly and conservatively. I'm gonna hold on to my virginity. In fact, let me go back to that college party where everybody was in like denim mini skirts and like tube tops, tank tops. No. I'm going to wear a full-length skirt. I'm going to wear a maxi dress. I'm going to have a cardigan. I'm not going to dance. I'm not going to drink. Let's see how many boys talk to me.
Exactly.
Oh, but I'm such a perfect conservative trad.
Yeah, but it's like we should be able to have fun. Like,
yes.
Like, there should be able to be a balance just because, like, I call myself conservative, which is such a big issue. Doesn't mean I shouldn't be able to go have fun. Doesn't mean like I shouldn't go to a pool in a bikini. Like I feel like it needs to be more normalized that we can want to look cute and we could want to wear like sexier outfits, but that doesn't have anything to do with our intellect.
No. And like Lila or Lila, is it Lila? I don't even know. The woman that
Who even knows? I don't know why she wouldn't change her name immediately. Yeah.
But we're the same age, her and I, and we were just like two completely different like individuals. And like her and Isabella, I would not want to be friends with because they were just like so stuck up and like we said, boring. It's like Kristy and I get there like, woo, party's here, and then they're like, you know, like we were joking that Lila, we felt like she was auditioning for Fox News, like ever so proud.
You know why this is the case, Brenna? Because the earliest viral moments on the Whatever podcast happened with Chase, who a lot of people refer to as Chad. And he hasn't been on recently because he's dealing with like a family issue. Like we'll chat here and there because I think he's just great. But some of the earliest viral moments with that show came from a Christian, conservative, traditional man owning whoever else was on the other side of the table, be that OnlyFans girls, be that a trans person, be that Gorlock, like whoever. That was set so early as this is the success equation for this show. That got the biggest pop. And I think anybody who goes onto that show, like, well, I'm definitely on the conservative side of the table. I think there's even more pressure to like have that own, to look good, to look smart, to be a good like out debate whoever it is. I think there's and that pressure is not on the other side of the table because the women are like mostly young, mostly not doing a lot of podcasts, like kind of don't give it, or they're like, you guys don't give a fuck, living your lives, having fun.
Yeah.
So already the dynamic is set like, okay, there's like conservative influencers who are there to have an own and have a viral clip so that their following can grow and they can look good and they can get invited to TPUSA so they can get invited to whatever thing, whatever like conservative event. So they're going, oh, and I think that actually is a detriment because you're not, again, you're confined by these labels and these kind of, well, I have to fit into this mold instead of just like what Kristy said, who fucking cares what your label is? Like, just let a conversation flow.
Mm-hmm. We didn't know we were going in to have any sort of debate. Like, I literally thought we were like on the same side. Like, I'm on the Christian, conservative, Republican, patriotic side, and they're like, no, you're not. And it's like, okay, I didn't know this was such an exclusive club. Like, I don't believe you that you believe in God because you do this. And it's like, I literally do believe in God. Like, I literally do have a spiritual connection. Sorry that it's different than yours, but like, I didn't know like it was such a big deal. I just thought we should just agree that you should have a spiritual connection with God. I didn't know it had to be the exact same way. I didn't know, like, I don't know, like, I believe in the traditions of like I said, like, men and women are not equals. We're equally as important, but we are not equally the same. And that's why together we mate and make a whole anyway. Like, man's strengths is a woman's weaknesses and vice versa. Like, I do believe in all those traditional things. So I don't know, it has to be like such a debate, like, oh, I don't believe it enough or something.
It's like an all or nothing situation.
Yeah.
But how you make your money, that's it. You're out of the club.
I mean, I don't judge people by their job titles. And like, a lot of times if you go out and meet people and you're just like sitting at a bar, I mean, I guess these people don't sit at bars, but if you're out and about and meet someone in like the real world, sometimes one of the first things you do is ask them what they do. But a lot of times you just start talking about something and you don't even know what their job is. And I think if we just met out in the wilds, we would have had a lot of like things we agreed on. And then if they left and found out I did OnlyFans, like they might have left and we got each other's info and we might have liked each other. And then as soon as they found out I had OnlyFans, then they would have hated me. But I think if they didn't know my job title, it would have been just so different.
Yeah.
Like, I don't judge people on their job title though, but I thought
maybe you should start.
I wonder though if it wasn't fully. I'm gonna try and look at it from their side. So these are people who are like utterly practiced. They must be the pious ones. They must be, holy to God and stuff. So, for them, they hear, okay, you do OnlyFans and you're calling yourself something that they consider themselves to be. So I wonder if they treated it with the disdain that they treated it with, because they wouldn't want to see themselves with what they consider to be like a stain, that they felt would break their piety, so they had to fight back. But, while saying that and hearing it and thinking about it, they're just freaking three cowards that didn't want to go after the two big names. I said it last week, I'll say it again.
Biggest gripe is that the professional porn stars did not have your back, Kristy, because you can argue what you do is on a smaller scale than what they do, and that in theory, they really should have had your back and were in a position to really lift you up and kind of yes and you. That was so cowardly of me and of them, and it showed me just how selfish the reasons for them being there actually were. It's like, they're here to promote their porn. They don't give a fuck about anybody else. It's like it's like that famous person that like pulls up the ladder behind them. It's like they don't care about the little guy. They don't care about lifting anybody else up. It's like, ugh, that was so icky to me.
Yeah,
everyone on that show is let down.
I agree with both people, because I'm like, okay, like I'm never gonna have an OnlyFans that's crazy as them, but like we're on the OnlyFans side together, so I'm gonna like naturally have their back. And I'm not like, I think I'm on the same political side as the other ones, so I'm like trying to agree with them. And instead, they both just like didn't want anything to do with being able to relate to me by any means.
No.
And then
they discussed it the whole time watching it back. They just like had this look of disgust, like and annoyance, because they were there to promote themselves, and when that didn't happen, and instead the attention shifted to Kristy, it was like, what the hell?
Right, like they were supposed to be the stars, and that's why me and Brenna kept looking how, like you mentioned earlier, like me and Brenna kept like looking and like having side conversations, because we're like, why are we getting any attention at all compared to who's at this table? Like when we were like in the Uber, found out like who these people are. First of all, we didn't know like who they were. We were clicking on their Instagrams, and they're like, we're like 1.6 million followers. Like, how are we at a table with someone with this many followers?
Yeah.
And then like everyone was talking about us, and we're like we were.
It'd be funny if you looked over and their chairs are like way more comfortable than your chairs. Like, oh, they have a million followers, they get cushions.
Yeah.
Like everyone when they look at Brian.
Yeah. But it's just like we still are like, why were people talking about us so much?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And they just arrived, like, I didn't know who they were. Kristy didn't know who they were like before, but like they arrived Kristy like 45 minutes late, I feel like just casual walk in. It's just they just thought they were better than
like the celebrities have arrived. They can kind of do whatever. They're gonna get all the attention.
Yeah.
And then like my sister sent me a clip when I told the doll head story. I forgot how that came up because it was not even like on purpose, but Lena's like throwing her arms up, like so bored, like.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She was like sitting in such an unflattering way. So she just be like, "Fuck it, I'm done."
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, good night.
Wasn't the most flattering, but
I'm like, wow, she doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have totally said something funny about that story. Like, I don't know. Like, they could have participated. They're just mad.
Yeah, I do think that's what it was. It was anger and it was jealousy, I think, mostly. Like, on Brian's end, I think it was a little bit of jealousy and anger because he was hoping that Adam 22 and Lena would have been the main guests. Like, he was hoping everything would have been about them, whereas he has these three cowards to his left who are focusing on someone who they shouldn't have been focusing on when the content that should have been made wasn't coming from where it should have been made from, you know, to the point that, like, I mean, he's so stunned, and both of you get the invite back, you know. Unluckily to him, one was already heading home because, oh, guess what? They don't freaking do OnlyFans. They have a 9-to-5 job, something that three cowards didn't want to mention, you know. So it's like all around, he's angry. He's also jealous of, like, the situation that's happening, but he's also, like, he's kind of going through grievance, you know. I think to him, he knows what good content is. He knows how good content can be made.
He has a podcast.
Exactly. Well, not even just that. I mean, his channel got made because he was a shock channel back in the day, over a decade ago.
Wasn't he rap adjacent, Adam 22?
What Adam was, but no, I'm talking about Brian. I'm talking about Brian with his shows. Like, he's looking at it from his standpoint. I mean, he's a guy who's twice made a successful channel, even though technically whatever podcast was made successful because his channel was already successful. He already had millions of followers before the whatever podcast. He was making content over a decade ago. You know, so he knows how to make viral content. He knows what content is. So he has a situation where he sees these two people, and he's just thinking numbers. He's thinking money, advertisement revenue. I've got Adam 22, I've got Lena the Plug. They're going to talk about the cooking that happened where he's selling his wife out to another man, and that's all he's thinking in his head. They start covering it. That's the first thing they cover on the show. I mean, he goes through his, you know, polling of the table first, goes right into that. That's all he's singing. I want to hit that content. How can I hit that content? I want that clip. I want to be able to clip it. It's going to go up in the freaking morning.
I want another
I got my people
Warlock.
on it.
I want another. I need another Chase.
That's all he's thinking in that moment. And as this show is going on, here's this girl who's like, you know, like doing this stuff that like shouldn't be being done. Like she should just be like the random person there, but she's making the content.
Filler. Kristy, you guys were in the filler seats.
Yeah, but see, you see what I'm saying though? Like, so from his mindset, from the content creator mindset, he's seeing that, and in his brain, he knows she's making great content. He knows it in his brain, but he doesn't want to like accept it because he knows the numbers of the two people there are way better. So he's sitting there, he's bashing, he's bringing up the bad super chats, and as it's going on, he accepts it.
How did I get this wrong? How did I see everyone so wrong?
But his downside is he's too slow to pivot. He should have pivoted. You know, he should have tried to say, okay, I'm not going to get the content from Adam and Lena. That sucks. I got to try and get the content from Kristy then. You know,
they were boring, and who knew they were going to be boring? I think
they were.
I think they were going to be the most interesting people in the room, and then I accidentally became the most interesting.
Yeah. Well, no, they weren't
like,
boring.
I think Adam and Lena were like, "Damn, we don't know how to talk for this long. We usually talk for a little bit and then fuck." You know what I mean? Like we all would be sucking dicks at this point, and we're not trying to keep going.
I don't think they were boring though. You know what? I think you're wrong on that. Sorry. I think that they weren't boring. The freaking cowards to the left of Brian were freaking boring.
Right.
It's them. They needed to go after Adam. And Brian needed to push them to go after Adam, but he didn't.
I think when Adam and Lena were like demonstrating their boredom, that's when I was like that. I expect more out of them because they have a podcast. They are professional content creators. I thought that was rude. I don't want to see somebody checking out and looking at their watch.
They could have joined in on anything I was saying and been like, gave like this way crazier explanation.
No.
Like,
and so they kept telling you you're interrupting. Like Adam told you that multiple times.
Yeah.
It's you just got bashed for 2 minutes, but you're interrupting.
Yeah.
You know, wait, those 2 minutes of you bashing, wait, no, you shouldn't jump in right now because they just made lies up about you. You're interrupting, Kristy.
Yeah.
You know, how could you do that?
If someone's putting like words in my mouth, I'm not gonna let you do that. Like it's like they called me polyamorous at one time. I'm like, that's the people sitting next to me. I'm saying I'm a monogamous. Like then they're like trying to say I'm doing things for children. I'm like, I'm for children. Like, they were just like going all over the place, and I'm like,
yeah, that's not really fair to take out all of their issues with like the left on you, which is what they were doing.
And I'm like, no, we're on the same side about that. Like,
you're like, I don't make content for kids, and it's every parent's job to make sure they're not looking at adult content.
Yeah.
Whether it's hardcore porn or like I've seen Instagram accounts that like are basically porn, you know what I mean? Like kids could be looking at anime and hentai that's like pretty porny. So to pin it all on a one girl with an OnlyFans account is insane.
Like since like I do consider myself traditional, even though they don't, like I'm like, no, the kids should be outside playing. They shouldn't have iPhones or iPads in the first place. Like they should all be like outside. Like, but they didn't care that I like cared about that. And then
you want to see? I actually have something to share here. So this is. I have some of Isabella Maria Deluca's bashings here. So while we're talking about, the stuff about children and stuff, I was just looking at this and I just found it.
And when was this episode? When did this episode originally air?
What was it? It was 2 Sundays ago, right?
Okay.
This was last Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday. Okay. Yeah. So this is just a video that Isabella herself made and got 99K views, but I've heard she's said she's never bashed you like on the show or after. So
Yeah,
let's give this
she
a
has said
listen
that.
here.
But also, like, at least tag me so I get some followers.
Yeah. All right. So let's give this a listen here.
How can you say that? Like, you have a traditional view of marriage, but then say your OnlyFans is filled with married, unhappy men. You don't think that's detrimental or exploitive?
They shouldn't have got married. That's why I'm 33 and not married, because I take it very seriously.
But this is the problem, because it's so easy for people to consume and to go off in another direction instead of fixing their marriages. It's exploitive.
Those
it's
men need
detrimental.
therapy.
But
They
you're
need therapy.
also
they should get therapy.
But you're filling that void instead of having.
When I was a bartender, they would use me as a therapist. When I was a personal trainer, they would use me as a therapist. It's not my problem that they're not going to all those other things.
Look how bored they are.
And pornography. There's a difference between therapy and talking to somebody about, I'm having these issues in my marriage, how do I fix them, and going off and cheating on your wife behind her back. There's a huge difference. You put the blame on everybody else. The parents should parent better. They should pick better partners. When in reality, you have a big part of that blame, and these men are going to you. How can you say that?
Yeah, I wanted to share that really quick because, you know
what? She could have come together. Like, she could have come together with you on this point. I'm not saying it right, but Isabella does make up a good point, and that's like, okay, why do you want to be basically chumming the waters for the hungry sharks? And you're basically saying, like, well, if I'm not chumming it, somebody else is going to chum it. Like, me being out of the game is not going to keep the hungry sharks from swimming into different ponds. So I think that's an issue that you guys could have come to. So
yeah.
So now some time has passed. Chrissy, have your thoughts? Oh my God, what a cute dog! Oh my God, does your dog act like? Does your dog think he's a small dog? Because he's certainly.
This is a small dog.
Oh my goodness! All right, we have to do the full screen for just a minute. Look at your Bubba!
Hi, Wolfie.
They're so cute.
Can you say ratio?
Your dog has a gigantic head.
I know. His head is bigger than mine.
Oh my God. What? Oh, is he a doodle?
He's a Bernedoodle.
He is very doodly, like with that paw on you. Like, give me attention.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It does kind of look like your dog,
I
Chrissy.
didn't even know he's on a podcast.
Oh, he's so cute. Oh my God, what a good boy. Oh my
And
God.
the other ones, like, they're the same, but they're so different.
What breed is the little one?
A Pomeranian. But he's a tri-colored Pomeranian.
He's a feisty.
So they're both tri-colored, so like they look the same.
They love them.
So, okay, now that some time has passed, Kristy, what would you say to, because, you know, a lot of people probably have this belief that Isabella shared that, like, you know, how can you say you're for conservative values, but she's essentially saying, like, you're part of the problem, right? So how would you, like, if she were here? That's why I wanted her to come on, so you guys could, like, talk through this again.
If she wasn't a coward.
Exactly.
I mean, like, I think there's, first of all, I didn't know this was going to be about, like, porn at all. Like, I think that's why Brenna's face was like, where am I? Like, this is not what we were trying to be talking about.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I think there's so many bigger fish to fry, and I don't know what I'm allowed to say on here, because, like, if I were talking about politics and saving children, OnlyFans would be on the very, very bottom of my list. Like, I don't know what I'm going to say, because Brian kind of shut me up when I brought this up, but, like, there are schools in public or there's books in public libraries that are.
Yep. That trafficking, the border, my God.
Trafficking, the border, the wall, like, why we even want to build the wall, like, why they don't want to build the wall, like, pedophiles. Like,
and here's the thing, too, Kristy, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but, like, Isabella is so judgy of girls on OnlyFans. Like, you're basically saying you're part of the problem. When meanwhile, if you were to look at the cheating statistics, most people cheat with somebody from their day job. So it's like, what are you going to go into the office and look at every woman? What are you wearing? Are you talking to him? Like, are you kidding me? It's again, it's your job to strengthen your relationship from within. It is impossible to eliminate every temptation out there. Even if you were to eliminate all porn tomorrow, are you kidding me? Then work hookups would be up 3,000%.
It's honestly probably better for a guy. First of all, it's not my fault if people got married and aren't happy.
Yeah.
But it's probably better for a guy to be talking to a girl on OnlyFans than actually hooking up with someone in real life and actually cheating. Like, I'm pretty sure if I asked all my friends if they were that were married or in relationships, what would hurt them more if they found out a guy was paying to talk to a girl on OnlyFans or actually having an affair at work or an affair elsewhere or on Bumble or Tinder with real life situations. I think that would be a lot
It depends. It depends. If it's like long, a lot of talking, a lot of emotional back and forth, a lot of pouring your heart out, like I'd be like, to me, that's like emotional cheating. If you're basically using an OnlyFans girl, like I'm sure a lot do, kind of like a therapist, because there's a huge emotional component to that dynamic. You know, my friends spend hours responding to messages on OnlyFans, and I think that is something a lot of people need. So it only makes sense that they would kind of like, oh, while I have your ear, like, let me talk to you about my divorce, or let me talk to you about like my bum leg or whatever. But everyone's different. Some people, the emotional part would hurt more than the physical part. Yeah. But again, it's like there's so many what ifs, you know what I mean? Like I could see somebody saying to you, oh, Kristy, what if you were married and then you caught your husband talking to somebody on OnlyFans? I mean, that's so many what ifs down the line.
And the thing
of a
is,
hypothetical
though,
situation.
like, one of the reasons why I'm so picky about who I'm in relationships with is because I want to make sure that I'm not going to be with someone that I think is going to do that. And of course, no one can predict the future. No one gets married and thinks they're going to get cheated on. But like, she called me out for like being 33 and still single. And it's like, one, I just got out of a long-term relationship. And two, yeah, I'm not going to get married just to get married. Like, I'm going to be very, very picky because I don't want to be in the position that like a guy is looking elsewhere. And I, being a girl working in New York City in real estate, I've seen what married men do. Like, I mean, I see what goes on behind closed doors. I get invited to parties. I get invited to work team meeting things. I'm not doing anything at those besides for just being at a party in the middle of the day when they're supposed to be working. But you know, a lot of men do a lot of things, and that's gonna be that was way before OnlyFans this stuff was happening.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we need to vet each other more before we get married. Maybe we need to get to know each other better before we just like get married. I don't know. That's not really that's like way beyond me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, even if you ever watch the show Mad Men, I wish I was born in that era.
Oh, the clothes were so great. Everything, the hair.
I was born then, but I'm not traditional, even though I would love to have been born then, and not have worked, and just been cooking and cleaning in the house. But it's like, yeah, all these people men have been having affairs since way, way, way before porn and OnlyFans.
And women have had affairs. Just saying.
Women too, yeah.
Like,
I gotta stand up for the men. You know, women cheat too.
People in general.
Yeah.
People in general, and like that's because they're either bored or they're not getting what they thought they were going to get out of it. Like, I brought up the whole gratifying thing. Like, you only look elsewhere because you're not getting what you thought you'd get out of the partnership. Not because of me.
Right.
Yeah. I thought you were going to be like, it's not because I'm so great, because I am.
I was going to say, well, you are really great.
Thank you. Like, I know I'm really great.
I know.
Like how, like Brenna and I, like, we have like this inside joke about like love bombing, and like it's supposed to be like a bad thing, or it is a bad thing, but we're like, but it's so believable because it's like, yeah, that does make sense. Like, that does stick out. Like, I am amazing. I am really great. I don't know how you live without me, even though you met me 2 days ago. Like, that counts. Like, that counts.
Yeah, I know you want to marry me. It's only been 2 dates, but fine.
Like, it makes sense. I would want to marry myself too in 2 dates. Like,
Yeah.
If I may break in with some breaking news. So earlier today, I posted on the Twitter sphere about the fact that Isabella Maria Deluca is not going to be joining us on the show tonight, and I was a little let down by that. So let's see how this turned out. I'm going to pull it up here. Okay. So I said, wow, all said, just found out Isabella will not be joining us for whatever Wednesday tonight. I guess Kristy will be able to explain her thoughts on their differences without pushback. But I believe in free speech, and well, it is what it is. It is unfortunate. Chrissy's boobs replied with double sad faces, one for each boob, which is awesome. I love the boobies. And then I said, yeah, it is sad, especially after all the public bashing from Isabella. She's just going to let Kristy's side be told. I mean, I can mediate, but only if there is two sides to a story. All I could see is someone not liking Kristy at all. I really hope for a second view, and I made sure to show the screenshots of, can an OnlyFans model have the same traditional core values as a conservative Christian? So one post of her not linking to Kristy. Another post of her not linking to Kristy with a video. These are videos, mind you, where, she's, trying to, like, show that, oh, she smacked down Kristy on the show. OnlyFans girl says traditional men want to date her, which is, I'm absolutely sure, true. OnlyFans girl says she's a traditional woman, and then LOL, and this is a moment where they're kind of laughing at Kristy, and Kristy's saying, why doesn't he know my name? Because says the blonde's voice sounds like she ate a concrete patio. You are bashing her, you are a coward, and this was your reply to it, Isabella Maria Deluca. I'll be on the show another time to explain my side. I don't feel like being yelled at and yelled over during the... during the entire podcast. I'm sorry you watched a total of 4 minutes of clips and felt like I was the one who was rude to Kristy. Hopefully you could tune in next time.
Is that what we said?
This is my reply. If you would, I'm going to click this and post this later to you, Isabella Maria Deluca. I think it's very rude to assume that either Chrissy, a longtime, well-practiced podcaster, and myself, who streamed on Twitch for 8 years, did YouTube for about a decade, and, I have a degree in philosophy. I'm good at conversating.
Ooh.
Let that be the way it would go down. I find this rude and insulting. If you change your mind, I am willing to send you a link right now. If not, to be honest, you are lying. I tried to send the link, and this is what I get. You cannot message this user because you are not verified. So you block people out. You don't let them talk with you. This is your response. You lie. I watched the whole episode 3 freaking times, Isabella Maria Deluca. You are a coward. You are a liar. You are a manipulator. And you are just someone trying to get clout. You look down on people around you. You said you would be on the show. And then same day until Chrissy messaged you, that's when you said no. You are a coward. You didn't go after Adam 22. You are just a liar in my book. So don't try and come in the messages there and the comments and act like I watched 4 minutes of something when I watched it 3 whole freaking times.
You watched too much.
I timestamped it.
You watched too much of the podcast.
So that's all I have to say, Isabella. You pissed me off. I think you're a liar, and I think you tried to manipulate that point there, because even in my initial post was about moderating. And then you say you're going to get yelled over. You are trying to claim that both Chrissy and myself would let that be the scenario when that is not the case.
That is actually kind of offensive to the two of us to think that, what did you say? I don't feel like being yelled at. Like we would ever let that happen. That's insane. Yeah. Like, that's literally why we do this show. That's why we do any podcast, is to let people speak. That's why we wanted to have people with different opinions on. Isn't that the point of any podcast? But I guess I don't have a million followers, like whatever. So maybe
that's what it is.
That's why it wasn't worth the time. But
I'm not verified. I'm not verified. I can't.
Not verified. That's just, I just hate when people are disingenuous, and who has the better track record, Kristy and Brenna here. Kristy now has been on our show twice. She has been here when she said she would be here, or the person who has bailed on me at least 3 times, maybe
that's
more.
Unprofessional. Like, just why?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
And you know what that says to me too? That's why she doesn't go after someone like Adam 22 and Lena. She only wants big names. She wants to suck up and she wants to coddle to them. And then anyone who's lesser, she will look down on you. She's going to lie about you. She's going to manipulate the truth. She is the fake news. She is not the conservative. She is not MAGA. You know what? And when she went to that women's march, I bet she was so happy to get the clout and she didn't care anything about it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make assumptions now.
We all love a viral moment. I love a viral moment as well. But I also, I'm somewhere when I say I'm going to be there and I don't, make up
No, but your viral moment would be real. Hers was, I'm going to try and go there. This is my assumption. I'm going to try and go there and make something happen.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to dog her.
I'm sorry. I'm very mad.
I think the people can see what happened here, and it's too bad. That's my hope, is that I one day want to have so much clout that nobody ever bails on me. I want to get to Joe Rogan levels of people would not have the balls to bail or no call, no show on something. That's what I want to do. I want to offer so much clout to somebody that they wouldn't dare think of blowing me off. So that's my goal.
She used to follow me too, by the way. She used to follow my account. And she doesn't follow me.
Why didn't she tag me? I straight up on the first one of her posts that I saw, I'm at me, tag me. Let me have a response. Let me get off of my clips.
Well, because you're yelling, Kristy. You would yell at her because you're yelling.
I would yell at her, right? But it's she doesn't want people to know who I am, because then when they see my stories and stuff, they might be like, oh, well, we could kind of see that she was attacked. She doesn't want anyone to know who I am, because then they'll see both sides of it. It's just tag me in it. Let's we can't have a conversation on here. I mean, sorry if my voice is loud and I talk fast. We're both from Long Island.
That's just wild. And I'm from Long Island too. I mean, come on. Yes, girl.
This is how we talk as New
Rockville
Yorkers.
Center, baby. Strong Island, ride or die.
Yes, exactly.
I messaged her on Instagram.
Oh God, Fealty, let it go. Let it go.
I just gave the link if she wants to join.
Here's the thing: is there's
the wrong one.
Not everyone wants to have a good faith conversation to find a resolution. Some people honestly just want clout,
and she will be shown for it.
That's been one of my hardest internet lessons.
And she'll be shown for it if she joins, or if she doesn't. Either way, she is showing herself. Either way, she could clearly come say her piece, or she could sit there and say that you and myself would let her sit there and be bashed. She did on whatever.
It's so wild to me that in her response, she said, I will be on a future one to explain. It's really? You've bailed on What's Hot. You've bailed on a Simcast. You've bailed on this show. It's I'm fool me once, shame me, fool me twice, I'm retarded. I don't know. The old saying goes.
How are you supposed to explain it? She doesn't want to explain it on the one that I'm on it. What is she afraid of? My answers. Yeah. It's not that she's afraid of getting yelled at.
I think if I had a blow up doll with a blue wig, maybe that would sweeten the deal.
Yeah, right. I could put one on Wolfgang, maybe. Come on.
She's just
we got a couple more questions from push-ups. Kristy, what is your most deeply held political view? What do you mean deeply held?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what deeply held means either. What's my biggest conspiracy theory belief? Or I don't know if
Sure, yeah. What's your biggest? Because I want to hear your biggest conspiracy theory.
I don't know if I can even. I don't know what I can say and what I can't. But the biggest
okay, I feel like I know where this is going.
Is that the elites or the swamp or whatever you want to call them are a huge pedo ring, and they all partake in human trafficking and worship the devil.
I mean, is that even a conspiracy theory when you look at the thousands of kids that go missing just in Hawaii and the Ukraine alone?
Why you don't want the wall so badly.
It's looking less and less like a conspiracy.
I think General Flynn
From Viking,
just talked
don't hate-
about that.
Really?
General Flynn was on the PBD podcast, I think yesterday or today, and he was mentioning something like that. I think it was either him or Viktor Orban being interviewed by Tucker, or that other general guy that got interviewed by Tucker. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff.
Jerry Orbach.
Jerry Orbach. No, Viktor Orban, isn't it? Victor. He's the PM of.
That Jerry Orbach donated his eyes. Don't hate the mayor, hate the game. Thank you, Viking.
You're not gonna finish that? He donated his eyes?
I think he did. I think Jerry Orbach's eyes is a whole thing, isn't it?
Wasn't he like the old guy, like in like all those movies? He was just always the old guy.
Yes.
Like he was in like Look Who's Talking or something, and he's like the grandpa of the baby or something, and the baby's like, I don't want to.
He donated his eyes. Wow. How is this what I remember? Like of all the facts and figures and names and details, Jerry Orbach. This is from 2007. New York actor Jerry Orbach, who donated his eyes before his death in 2004, is getting his wish. 2 women are now benefiting from his donation. Orbach's widow told the New York Daily News that her husband had always wanted to give his perfect vision to someone else after he died. I can't remember a day that went by where he didn't say, I want to donate my eyes. What the fuck? That's so weird to me. Okay, Orbach, 69 at the time of his death, was a Broadway and television actor who was in Law and Order. Who got his eyes? A woman who had a nearsighted eye, and the other woman needed a farsighted eye. Wow. Jerry Orbach's eyes. Wasn't there a song about it? I can't believe I remember this fact from 2007. Anyway.
That was great.
That's
I remember things too, and it's like, like Gigi in her music video, and then I'm like, oh, I feel bad. She doesn't seem happy about that.
Finally, well, I'm stupid for forgetting about that because she, I think, brought that up at a Content House, and I forgot. Push-ups says Brienne. Finally, some simping for Brenna. Brenna's really, 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 really pretty.
Oh, thanks, Push-ups.
He's a good guy. I'm just saying. He's single. He looks Jewish, but he's actually Greek. It's
I'm actually going to Greece in 2 weeks.
Ooh.
Recommendations.
Maybe you and Push-Up should go on a little vacation.
He's in the 666 club, which means he worships the devil.
No,
no, he's not.
He reads the Bible. Like he could quote the Bible and stuff, dude.
He does. He's He's very well read.
Wow.
R. James, does Brenna also do OnlyFans asking for a friend?
Didn't we mention this 7 times?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that was from when we were riffing on that.
Oh yeah. That's a good troll. That's like when the community joins in on the fun,
That's a great troll. What kind of name is this? Raceland Majer. Kristy, your smile reminds me of an awesome character from Dracula on Netflix. Hungry for knowledge, even in the face of possible death. Always smiling, even if strained at times. Sister Agatha, great actress / character.
Wow.
How specific.
Apparently you remind her of a character from Dracula named
I'm
Sister
looking it up.
I don't know. I don't know the Dracula story that well, so I don't really know if that's a good or
All right. Well, Kristy, I'm gonna let you know now. This doesn't seem really like a compliment, so I'm gonna show you what this woman looks like.
Yeah, I feel like it's not
Sister Agatha. So this is who you look like, and now brace yourself. I don't really know what to make. This is a nun.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
you remind me of this nun from Dracula.
She's kind of hot.
I can't really see her face, but wait, she's not smiling though.
Yeah.
Okay, let's click on the actress's
because I
photo.
thought she was like. I thought the whole
okay.
thing was
All right. Let's try a photo of the actress, and we'll move away from the habit.
Can we ask them
all right.
Like supposed to be mean.
Look at this. Okay, this girl's kind of cute. All right, this is looking like a person instead of just a nun.
Yeah.
I don't think I look like her though.
I don't think you look like her at all, but
That is that's one of those super chats that you can go to bed tonight and it's going to be like bothering you and you're going to be up all night like, what the fuck?
I think he's talking about like the characters she's playing in the movie. I don't know. Maybe I have to watch Dracula now.
Yeah, now you're gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, he replied.
Sorry for the off topic, Chrissy. Oh, and he said
he replied
he's
again.
assuring you that it is a compliment and she's awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, she's.
Okay,
I think she's hot.
Hey,
you.
I mean, are there enough hot nuns out there? Maybe not.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, the nose is a little big, though.
Oh, push-ups, meaning what issue do you feel most strongly about? Okay. Most passionate political issue.
For me?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Like anti-human trafficking and what is the word that I can only say? I can't say one. Transformers. Transforming the children. They're trying to give us all identity crises, especially children at a very, very early age, so that they can control us all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And they don't want us to be free thinkers because then we can't be.
I was going to say the border, but I'm going to change my answer to Christie's.
Thank you. Because
it sounds pretty important.
Tied together.
Yeah.
Like, the border
yeah,
is a part of
it is.
Yeah.
Brenna?
What do I feel most strongly about?
This is your Miss America question.
Oh, gosh. I mean, just the whole COVID thing has been just BS from the start. And just that they're trying to like bring it back again. Like I've been seeing more and more people in masks lately. And I'm like,
ugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, when are these people going to realize what this actually was? And it's just, it blows my mind.
Some people want to honestly have like a program setting. They want to be like, oh, cool. Like, I know what this is like. Oh, good. Oh, pandemic. We're doing the pandemic again. Okay, cool. Yeah. I don't have to work as hard. I can complain about shit. I can go back to being a hall monitor, mask Karen. Oh, good. I don't like it's understood at my job that we don't really have to like do much. Oh, maybe I'm gonna get some more PPP. Okay, good. I'll get to stay home. Oh, my kids will get pulled out of school again. So a lot of people loved that. And a lot of people, because it's hard to hustle and work and try to achieve your goals. It's a lot easier for people to like sign up. Oh, perma welfare. Let's do it. So
universal basic income. It's going to be the destruction of society.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's me. Even the other day, I mean, I see it so much. People driving in their cars by themselves wearing masks. That to me, I just will never understand.
Well, they don't. When cars sort of, when you start a car and sometimes a little dust comes out, if that dust comes back into the car and that dust contains droplets, then the droplets are in your car with you, even though you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Your car can give you COVID, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And like, do you know what the other, like the left is supposed to be the side of like peace and tolerance and everything. And like when COVID was going on the first time, I walked to Starbucks. I was the general manager of my Pilates studio, teaching Pilates at the time before I had OnlyFans. And I was walking and I went into Starbucks and you were supposed to wear a mask, but I never wore the mask. And then this guy watched me order at Starbucks and they were like, you have to wear a mask. And I said, oh, I can't wear a mask. I have psoriasis. Which doesn't have anything to do with wearing a mask.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, okay, my bad. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Didn't know what psoriasis was, so then they were accepted.
Yeah, it's like a skin thing, right? It's like you have.
Exactly. I was like, I used to say that all the time. I was like, oh my God, I really wish I could, but I can't. I have psoriasis. No, I'm so sorry. You're psoriasis.
Yeah. How strong and brave. You're so strong and brave.
Like, I really, really wish I could. I hate that I can't. But then some guy that was in the Starbucks, I guess, witnessing this all, gets in his car, and I'm walking back to my studio, and he starts yelling out of his car window. Also, he's not wearing a mask at this point because he's in his car, but he put the window down so is now about to get COVID probably.
Yeah.
I hope you die. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, you're the party of love and tolerance, and you're saying, you hope I die? Since I'm not wearing a mask, I'm just gonna die myself right now. Like, you don't need to like hope for it because this is so bad.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting that they've been kind of pushed to the point where they feel like that thing you're doing is the equivalent of doing that to them. You know, like that you're trying to bring that danger and that anger and that angst at them. And that's why they're responding to you that way. It's like, how far away disconnected can you be from other people? Like, it's like, look, if someone wants to wear their mask in the car, I have thoughts about it, but you know what? I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to mandate you like, hey, people, don't look stupid. Like, you know, at this point, like, we're mandating you can't look stupid. And that's really, you know, that's something, you know. So it's like, it is interesting how that happens. And living in New York, I mean, I see my fair share. I mean, it's true. The masks are back. They absolutely, I'm a as it says down here, I'm a survivor o coof because I am getting over coof right now as we speak. You know, it started on Tuesday just after Wednesday. I woke up on Thursday, and I was like, oh, something's different today. And then from Thursday to like Saturday, it just was downhill from there. And at no point was I like, oh, I need a thing that can't hold back a fart on my face. That's what I really need to do right now. That will save everything. It stops all the farts. Even if you have, you know, one of them on and a pair of pants and a t-shirt and a jacket, even in wintertime, even if that jacket's heavy, you know, it's going to stop that fart. No one's going to smell it. Never before has anyone smelled a fart through all of that. You know, let me put something on my face, just one layer's worth. You know, I that didn't pop through my mind, but I see it in the areas around. A lot of people, they've been wearing it for a few weeks now, like, because they're hearing it. It's amazing how quick, like, people are just like, you know, all right, let's go back into it.
It's like they want to be controlled, like they really do.
Yeah.
Maybe tell them what to do, then them have to like think for themselves. But also,
well, it's easy. Like, doesn't that sound easy to you? Wouldn't it? Like,
right.
You know,
like
you don't have to think.
Yeah. But also, like, what happened to natural immunity? Like, what happened to like immune systems? Like, when did that go out the window?
Yeah.
Maybe it just doesn't. I don't know. I don't know how much we can say on that, you know, anymore. I don't want to risk Chrissy's channel getting taken down while she's in the bathroom.
Like, I gotta be careful because
it's wild that we do have to like sit there and be like, oh, is this something that, oh, I don't know if I could say that, you know? I mean, as someone, streaming on Twitch for 8 years, I used to worry like, oh, what if I said something like out of all the thousands and thousands of hours of just playing video games and thinking out loud, like, what if I said something wrong? Like, oh, gee golly, am I going to get deleted? And now it's like, now we have the free speech platforms.
Little thing too, and it's like cancel.
Yeah. But is there really free speech? I don't know. I mean, people think Twitter might be the spot. And I sit there and say, I'm on my second account and my first account is still suspended because of, you know, free speech, because it's free speech platform. So I don't know how safe we are. You know, there's still ways to go. But yeah, I mean, I think I agree with both of your issues for what's coming. I mean, there are other things I worry about. I mean, Kristy, you would actually probably know about it, being in, you know, selling of properties and stuff. I think that sector is in massive danger right now. It's way overpriced to be able to buy a home right now. Any of the kind of interests you're going to pay on it right now are not. It's not doable for the average person, you know, unless you're making maybe $500,000 a year. You're not going to really be able to pay that down even in 30 years if you're lucky. And by that point, the inflation's going to destroy you anyway, so you're not paying it off. You're going to lose it anyway, and then it's going to go right back to the banks and, you know, the Fed probably, you know. But yeah, it's like those would be my worries. And she's back with the turtle.
Oh my gosh! Oh,
pets out.
So cute.
Wait, what's the turtle's name?
His name is Iggy. He's our pandemic tortoise, Herman tortoise. He's a land tortoise, so not he. I think he's just about fully grown. He's like 3 years old. That's his butt. You can tell that he is a boy because of the indentations on the other underside of his shell. Wow. You can't really, what is it called? A carapace? I don't fucking know. But there are indentations here that are like perfectly made to like basically so he can fuck a girl tortoise better. That's the point of it.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But Iggy has never met a woman, so he's MGTOW.
Why do you switch to me after saying that?
I removed myself from the stream instead of.
Oh, I thought that was on purpose. I was like, that was a setup right there.
No, I did not mean to point to you when I said MGTOW. I said like Iggy's never met a woman, so he's MGTOW.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
And then I put it on you. I apologize profusely.
That worked out perfectly. An unintentional. I mean, I respect it. I respect it.
So can I tell you guys what? So. I don't know if you noticed, but we were like spammed a lot earlier in the show. So Frank reached out to the, I guess whatever channel was spamming us, because they were saying they were like a bunch of MGTOW people because they kept saying like no hymen, no diamond like 4,500 times in a row. And so Frank went into the went into the chat of the channel that was doing that, and it was like, hey, like. Why are you like basically like calling my wife a slut? We've been together 8 years. Like, what are you doing? And then they had this moment where the guy was like, oh, I didn't know. I just thought they were all just sluts. And we don't even know who she is, like meaning like me or my channel. And like he basically just and then helped them fix an audio problem and it basically made them look very stupid. So shout out to Frank. He's the best. But that that goes to show you like these people who come in and like raid your chat or spam you or send you like nasty messages. It's like they haven't even looked into you. Like they haven't even bothered hearing you out.
They just make assumptions and then like are hiding behind a keyboard.
Yeah. They have nothing else better to do.
Yeah, like we like this.
But Frank handled this situation like such a boss because he was like, actually. Here's why your audio issue is fucked, and then perfectly described it. And they're like, hey, he's right. Listen to this guy. You know, he's making good points. And he's like, stop calling my wife a slut. No.
It's like, I can fix your audio issue if you do me a favor.
Yeah.
I can have a favor from you. Now, Frank could do the voice better from Sopranos.
I'm so sick of like somebody hurt you once and now you have carte blanche to be an asshole for the rest of your adult life. And that's what's like so much of this MGTOW is about.
That's why I'm so vehemently against. There's two things I'm vehemently against. Well, there's many other things, but MGTOW and body positivity. Two things, anytime someone brings it up, I'm just like, you know, because it doesn't work. It's going to screw you over in the long run. Like, oh yeah, go your own way. Enjoy being alone at 70. You know, that's going to work out well when you can't walk.
Oh my God. He really is. Frank is a he whispers to all people, honestly.
You going to hang? Is he in New York?
I don't know, actually. The person's channel had like 57K, so it was like, you know, not nothing. Yeah. Did we? Oh, one more from MK Solid. Thank you, buddy. Office jobs with married women can make a guy super horny. The temptation is always there. I've worked jobs where even women well over 50 were hot. You have to be to keep up in this market. And you know, you're trying to look your best at work. Like I sweated for years over my office attire, you know. Yeah. I'll never forget this. The last day job I had. I worked for this very old man in like corporate establishment media. And I'll never forget. He had a gardener. He had like a groundskeeper Willie, so to speak. Someone in charge of like maintaining his beach house property or whatever. And I'll never forget the first time I was new at this job. And so I'm dealing, you know, I'm on the phone with this groundskeeper guy. We're correlating, I don't know, vacation schedules and shit. Oh, it was also his job to like get my boss's vacation car and fill it with gas and make sure it was all like tuned up and shit like that. And he said to me like, I could tell he was also an old guy. And he said, "Oh, you're so-and-so's new assistant. I heard you were really pretty." I was like, what the fuck? Who says that? Like, what? It was just a weird, unnecessary thing to say on the phone. And then I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't fucking dress so nice at this job. Like, maybe I should just wear a fucking bag on my head. Yeah.
I'm a guy. We don't deal with that stuff, luckily.
And not that I felt like sexually harassed, but I was like, it wasn't even a FaceTime. I'm like, it's just a phone call. I'll never meet you, sir. Like, why did you have to go out of your way to tell me that? And then you're like, ew, what else did this person say? You know?
Yeah.
You're my boss. Get out of there. Mangus says, can the girl on the bottom right stand up and do some jumping jacks, asking for not for $5, Mangus. Come on now.
No, it's not even $5. That was Canadian $5.
Oh God, that's not even real money. Depends what part of Greece are you visiting. Also, you walk a lot in Greece, a lot of exercise, so Brenna's gonna come back looking even hotter. Okay, he's really shooting his shot here.
Wow. Yeah. Thanks, push-ups.
I mean, I have heard rumors that, you know, in the pants is very, very large and in charge, you know.
What?
Who, push-ups?
Yeah. I mean,
look at the name. Heard these rumors.
Yeah.
I've
heard them.
Yeah, push-ups grew up next to a nuclear plant and received a lot of radiation as a child, so it's actually quite large down there.
Yeah.
Now I'm so curious what he looks like.
Yeah,
I know we're building hype for you, push-ups. Ratlin, if you did want to watch Dracula, it's the miniseries, 2 or 3 episodes, not one of the movies.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think
so. He's giving you work to do in order to receive this compliment.
Okay. It's a slow cooker. He's planting a seed.
You have to earn it. You have to earn this compliment.
Can you explain it a little better?
Matthew Hill, just to know Kristy's page isn't all porn for all. Isn't all porn for all. Am I reading that wrong?
So like modeling?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I looked at your Instagram and it's like modelly stuff.
On my OnlyFans page, like the actual wall though is like very PG rated.
PG?
Yeah, on the wall, yeah.
Isn't PG like 10 years old?
I mean, comparatively. Like, I don't have anything bad on the wall.
Because PG-13 is obviously 13.
Yeah.
But what is
so then PG would be up to 12.
I mean, I'm
yeah.
not saying for children, though. I don't want people to think I'm saying for children. I'm just saying compared, the wall is
wholesome adult content.
Yeah. The wall is very, very wholesome.
Okay, good. Fealty, did we want to get into some moments from maybe Nitro?
I think we do. I do think we do.
Oh my God, this is actually hilarious and the most apt description of push-ups. I kind of look like Abe Lincoln.
I don't know if that's my type, but
hey, Abe Lincoln could get it. Have you seen the young photos of him? Like right as he, abolished slavery, he was looking pretty good.
Oh, well.
Well, wait, so is he really tall?
Yeah.
Pull up a picture of him.
Does he wear a hat?
No, build the mystique.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. We're not doing that.
Brenna, imagine if this is how you meet your husband.
in the chat, yeah.
What a cute story.
Oh, that would be so cute and wholesome.
That would be really cute and wholesome.
All right, so you think about the love of your life, Mr. Greek God. In the chat there while we pull up some of this episode of the whatever podcast that doesn't have Kristy on it because
I didn't recognize it because there's not 45 people on the show.
Right? It's too oldish people who are actually pretty awesome. It's Nitro and Ice from American Gladiator. So for people who don't remember them, or American Gladiator,
you should watch the television series. I forget what it's called, but it chronicles the American Gladiator. Like, I think it's what, 1 or 2 seasons out already. Like,
it was Muscles of Fury. Right, I think Muscles of Fury was named on Netflix because they talk about it like through this episode a little bit of like the that show and everything, but we're not gonna. I'm just gonna throw it out there. We're not gonna be reacting to anything about American Gladiators today. We're gonna be reacting to the most stunning moments that I never would have expected to happen on this show. I just need to find the timestamps really quick because, I was expecting to react to Kristy on whatever until I found out that, she's
that it's copy striked or something.
I know. I'm so mad they took that down.
Wow, these two were like actually 2 of the most interesting characters on that American Gladiators documentary or on that show. Maybe and they all did drugs. They all fucked each other. They were wild. They were like, wow, the 90s was a wild time. And they're like, we all basically did steroids, even though they told us not to. It was a very cool show.
Yeah. All right. I'll pull this. Okay. So this is.
It was steroids galore.
Yeah. So like this is Nitro. Oh, that's that. We're going to stay that small picture. That's Nitro from back in the day.
Wow. Hello, IT.
What?
What is he? What is he? Half Filipino, half something, half regular.
Half Japanese, half I think American.
Okay.
And then that should be Ice right there, I believe, if I remember correctly. It's a long time ago, okay? But yeah, so now at least we have a picture of them in our heads. We'll go back to this jammy jam.
Oh yeah, he has deflated quite a bit, whereas Ice has kind of maintained herself a little better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Maybe it's a little bit easier for girls to do than guys, because guys lose their testosterone, right? So we can't keep the bulk. That's gonna be sad. All right, so this moment here is one of the most shocking moments I never expected to happen. I mean, we don't really know too much about the people on the show because very rarely are there chances for it to come up. And in this moment, we do learn a little bit something about someone on the show. I might be a little bit too early to the moment of it happening, but we'll give a little bit of build up here.
That I haven't reported yet.
Got it.
Oh, there we go.
And so the tour.
I wonder if they've had sex.
Do
we think
Madison
Ice
and
Nitro?
Brian?
Well, okay, that's another question. But do you think Ice and Nitro have had sex? I think they've all fucked each other.
That's what I would assume. They were asked about it, and they said no.
It was probably low key a requirement.
Well, Ice admits that she's a lesbian. She does have a girlfriend currently. But she did admit that she has had sex with guys back in the day. So, and she dated the creator of The Simpsons for a while,
Hank Azaria.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
He wasn't. He did the voices of, like a boo.
He did many voices. Who was? Oh, Matt Groening.
No, it wasn't him. It was something else. It was something else. I can't remember the name. It's on there somewhere.
I think it was written and created by Matt Groening.
Might been. There was another name though. I can't remember now. I'm sorry, people.
Anyway.
Okay, I'll hit play.
Pretty much every state, almost. Maybe besides like Alaska. Or
almost.
Hawaii.
I think almost we did. We didn't hit Hawaii. We didn't hit Alaska. I would say, 126 cities.
I swear to God, being a lesbian keeps you young. I think that's the secret.
Maybe.
It's all that
it could
snatch.
Be makeup.
Eating all that snatch.
Could it be makeup though?
Could be.
Just saying.
Or the
girls
snatch.
get to wear makeup. Yeah.
Or it's all the tuna.
Or filler.
Yeah. I mean, if it was all the snatch, then guys who are good boyfriends and husbands would look young.
That's true.
Yeah.
I thought men usually aged better than females, though.
Yeah, but we die first.
Oh.
So,
but he's probably been on a lot of drugs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like, oh yeah. All right, but yeah, I'm gonna the shocking moment should be any second now.
Madison Square Garden, but not Alaska, not Hawaii. I was just looking there, and someone said Madison. They said that you were still in your dad's, you know what?
When the show was going on.
When the show was on, but do they know?
He actually is my father.
What? What? This isn't Jerry Springer. This is whatever.
I was shocked when I saw that.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is for real. That's her
wow.
dad. Yeah, which is it's so confusing because he went on like up to this point he was talking about the girl he got pregnant in another country, the girl who was telling him she doesn't ovulate, and then when she got pregnant, she was like, "Oh, your sperm's probably just really powerful," and he was like, "Yeah, you know." And then he talks about the woman he's with now who has a son. So all he was talking about was these two sons, and then all of a sudden, this moment out of nowhere, I am the father. That's Darth Vader coming in.
Why would you not open with that?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
why are they being squirrely about it?
Oh, it's about to get squirrely. Watch.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know that.
Confirm.
That's how we were able to book them.
Yeah, exactly.
This is actually
familial.
Yeah.
The daughter.
So
how fucking weird is everyone?
Usually,
everyone is so weird.
Right?
No, they couldn't be acting weirder.
It's like literally an utter moment of like, why are we not saying anything normal at this point? We're all sitting here like this is awkward when it's not really that awkward. If you're her dad, okay. Like, why are we making it awkward? Yeah, that moment shocked me. So like just a really quick moment to start it off. But then there was another funny moment coming up where I think we'll get a laugh out of this.
Yeah, no, for the people who are confused in the chat, I think he should have said at the very beginning of this podcast, "Hey, I'm Nitro. I'm Madison's father." Instead, we're how deep into this episode?
That was 27 minutes.
20. We're almost a half hour in. He goes,
29.
"Oh, do they know I'm your dad?" What a fucking weird way to say it.
How did they not introduce it like that?
Yeah.
But I mean, different dynamic than Kristy's episode so far. Until this moment. So we all know Brian, our favorite Brian, Mr. I don't know how to stop asking the same question multiple times, even though clearly the guests are trying to convey to me, I don't want to tell you my age. I don't want to talk about years.
I don't have a body count. I won't say how expensive this chair is. Although I think he did name drop the type of chair he had at one point.
Oh no, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did mention what type of chair it is in this.
So we could find it out.
I could. I didn't.
That's what I want to do next is Google and figure out the price of his chair.
Oh, it's got to be a couple thousand. Something like that with a mesh line like that. Like, you get that in offices. But, all right, so now we know who Brian is, and he's the guy who does this. So he was pushing the dates of when was American Gladiators? When did it start? Was it 89? I think it was like 89. And they're over and over telling him, like, who knows? Does it matter? Like, it was a long time ago, they keep saying to him. It's like, look, if it was 89 and they're in their 20s at 89 and we're in 2024, they're old as fudge and they don't want to think about it, Brian. Like, you know, like, let him live, okay? They don't have much time left.
65? He looks great, but he's got to be 65 or older.
Yeah. And she's around the same age, but she eats the vajayjay.
She can't be. She's wow. I mean, right. She could be doing the talks. Maybe she's 60. She does look good.
I didn't think of that. I think she's natural though. Some people just stay.
Some people just they work it.
Yeah, and they eat the veg. All right, I'm good. So this moment happens.
Yeah, it was such a what an amazing country. What an amazing experience.
What year was that? Was that 90?
It was a long time ago.
It was
My dude.
80s, right?
My dude, a long time ago.
It's
Okay.
long
A long
time ago.
Wow. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's the most famous you've ever been in your fucking life. I couldn't guesstimate when I've been on Gutfeld. I could tell you the fucking day I got the call. I could tell you the day where I was when I got the call to do Tim Pool's show. I remember, a long time ago. Are you kidding me? You don't remember the specific dates of the most important thing you've ever done? The thing that's made you the most famous? Okay.
Yeah, but like still though, like Brian, like he's been trying to convey to him multiple times leading up to this, like, all right, because Brian pointed out, like, was it like 89, like 90 in his I'm really calm and I'm Brian on my comfy chair voice, you know. I just want to know the year, even though it doesn't matter for anything.
Right. I have to ask everyone their age. He has to get everyone's fucking age, whether they like it or not.
And then he makes fun of him for writing it in the notes too. Like later on, there's one moment where he's like, "Oh, you gonna write that down? You gonna write that?" You know. So like literally, Brian almost got punched by Madison's dad right in that moment. And I just felt like we just need to share it. It was short. But all right, so now this is one of the moments I wrote down because especially since Kristy would be here, because I think it relates to you know, Kristy's mindset and in philosophy. I just gotta get to it. It was later on in the show here. Golly, I can't remember numbers. 120, 140, okay? Now, we know how we feel about things being a ratio, and I felt like in this area, he does start talking about something that I feel like could link to ratio. It's kind of... I just wanted to hear what people's thoughts were about it, because he's talking about his MO with, like, you know, stuff in you know, dating and stuff. So
I'm gonna put the Nike logo on this one.
Oh, she's
swoosh.
Whatever.
Whoosh.
Yeah, whoosh. He was talking about her stealing.
You talk about dating, and it just back in those days, and it just reminded me, you know, the American Gladiator days. And you know, I know in the documentary on Netflix, they call me a scoundrel. You know, but the truth was, when I look back at that time, you know, the one thing I hated was rejection. So rarely did I go directly towards a girl. Like, hey, you know, some guys had rap.
I would put a bag over her head and wait until she lost consciousness. That way you can't get rejected.
I don't think they could reject a guy who could probably lift a car at that point, though.
Yeah.
He just walks
too
up
bad.
to you.
You can't reject me. I'm already inside you.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I do have respect for girls for. Like, girls will go on a date with a person who literally could just do whatever they want to a girl. Like, if that girl's alone with this person... Yeah.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Breaking news. We have an update on the chair.
It's Herman Miller?
I heard, Douglas must be some sort of chair expert. Because Herman Miller does sound familiar. I do think I recall him saying Herman Miller. So this is a Herman Miller Aeron chair with an upgraded headrest. Let's get to work here. Herman
I'm
Miller.
pretty sure they're like thousands of dollars. Like
what?
For Herman Miller.
Okay, Herman Miller. Let's go to hermanmiller.com.
Like they have one chair that's like 20 different pieces, and it's supposed to like connect to the spine and press on it perfectly.
Jesus.
And like adjust to your movements and stuff.
It's supposed to like know what you're thinking and jerk you off and stuff.
Oh yeah, give you a butt massage.
Okay, this chair, I can tell this chair already takes itself too seriously. Okay, let's say buy now. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up. Hold the phone. Look at. Okay, first of all, guesses. How much is this chair?
$3,000.
3. Okay. Kristy.
I didn't even know it was that great of a chair. I just knew it was better than ours.
Yeah, same.
Now that everyone's going nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have thought at most 1,000. I thought it was
Okay, 1,000. Brenna.
Yeah, I was gonna. I didn't know office chairs cost this much.
Yeah, you were there. You saw the chair. Did you get to touch the chair? Were you able to touch it?
far away from it.
I wish I did now. I don't know. I'm gonna go be crazy and say 5,000.
Well, shit. All right. In true Price is Right fashion, I will guess $1. And $1,800.
Wow.
for a Herman Miller era. But let's see, right? Upgraded headrest.
Yeah.
Oh, back support. Let's see. Where can we do add-ons? We can't.
Really?
No, he had to call it in and ask for an extra headrest.
Well, I mean, if the basic of the chair is 1,800, I would assume the headpiece has to be
Probably
what,
not.
500.
Yeah, you're right. This could be like a $2,300 chair. Holy shit! This looks like a $50 Staples chair. This does not look special.
Yeah,
This is
really,
like,
I'm in kind of disbelief.
for this much money, you should have a full-blown Dr. Evil chair. It should be motorized.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
That's
I
not.
would never pay that for a chair, but
He could have taken
that's
that
wild.
money and bought 10 chairs that are comfortable for
Yeah,
10 people.
For everyone.
for everyone. Think
I
of the
know.
people.
Mhm. Wow.
Decent chair. That's a Herman Miller for you though, and that's cheap. I've seen them go upwards of like $7,000, $10,000. Like, Herman Millers are insane.
Yeah, I have to find out how much the headrest was, but I can do that on my own time because not everyone's autistic. So, okay, let's return to, and I'm not either. I become autistic for this show. Okay, here we are.
Should I go to the really shocking stuff? There is short moments that are really shocking. Should I just go to them now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What to go with first? Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so we get to learn more about Brian at 1:57:30. Golly. So, we don't really know. Like, Brian doesn't talk about his dating, right? Like, he doesn't tell us who he dates or anything like that. Well,
going by. One of the perks of being
She's back from that's her
located.
only bathroom break. I hope it was worth it.
And I don't have an issue with other people having a different view on this than I do. I just know from my own personal preferences when it comes to picking a partner, I'd certainly prefer someone who has a lower body count.
Have you ever had a one-night stand?
Nitro, stick it to him.
and he said yes. Yes, he has.
Wow, what a fucking hypocrite. You take your Dr. Evil chair and your flannel shirt and you apologize to these two women, okay?
And he said he didn't have a problem with people.
Yeah, right.
Talking to like an adult male, but he had a problem with us. Like,
right.
I like this because finally somebody older, somebody with a little more like, I don't know, would you say? I don't know if you could say clout, but like maturity. This is this is a grown ass man. This show rarely has grown ass men on.
Mm-hmm. All of a sudden now he doesn't have a problem. He just prefers a low body count. But before he had a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're starting to see a little bit more honesty come out.
And look at they're like a wall. Like they're both sitting up straight. They got the muscles out. They're both wearing black, even though we've learned you're not allowed to wear black on the show.
That's in the rules. You have to dress like you're going to a night out.
Yeah.
But
and just imagine looking at that.
Suit, so I'm so confused by that. It says like a date night or a night out.
Maybe her idea of a night out is going for a walk around the track.
Or the gym.
My mom used to love that. She would do walks around the track near where she worked.
I just walk around my neighborhood for like over an hour. It's nice. Play some Pokemon Go.
On a date night?
Oh no, I don't date. Golly. I'm not MGTOW. I'm unfortunate. All right. I'm gonna hit play.
That's the body count.
No. I don't make a habit. I certainly don't make it a habit of having one night stands.
Nobody does.
I'm more a relationship. Like if I have sex with a girl, I want there to be a continuity. I want to continue seeing her. But have I had a one? I've had a one night stand. No, I don't think I asked.
Yeah,
her body count then, but this was a long time
Why are
ago.
so many men unhappy in their marriages with their sex life?
Ooh.
Because they
Nitro.
marry somebody that they want to be a mother more than they marry for the sexual partner. And I'm not saying right
I think
or wrong.
you can have both.
Yeah, Nitro. Nitro should be the new host of this fucking show.
I think
I want to
go on his show.
kick Brian, put him back in the back, have him refill the fridge, give Nitro the comfy chair. He is bringing boss energy and big pee-pee energy to this podcast.
I think we should be calling him Madison's daddy. I'm just throwing it out there.
Mr. Madison.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daddy helmet. Yeah. Where's his helmet?
He does ask about the helmet earlier in the show, and Madison explains it to him, and he wasn't too happy about it. He wasn't a fan.
Because she's balding. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's a Franz Ferdinand World War I helmet, so it's.
There's two of them, so why couldn't he wear the other one?
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
He offers it to Nitro, and Nitro's like, no. Like he was not about it. He was not impressed with Brian. There was multiple times where, like, when he was like, dude, like, what does the time mean? Like, there's multiple times he pushes back against Brian, and this is about to get
Madison's
good.
cute. Madison has great hair. I'm the whole time I'm looking
I
at her. I'm
know.
like, I'm like, what is her hair regimen?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's nice. It's nice and thick.
I know.
Yeah.
I think it is too.
I don't know these things, but I hope you're ready for what's about to come up, because
we're ready. We're ready.
I think
we're about to learn
but
stuff.
what he's saying
you can't
is
have
then you become occupied with so many things because you have kids, you create a family,
Yeah, it becomes
they're in
harder.
school and things
Becomes
like
harder.
that. You just
Well,
don't
sex
really
is the
have
last
the
thing on your
time.
mind when you're having kids and
Exactly.
raising a family and taking care of the house and doing the laundry and doing the dishes and doing this and doing that.
Sure.
Sex is the last thing. So they're working their ass off as a mom and doing the house all day.
Yes.
And then the
Preach,
husband comes home
Ice,
and it's like,
preach.
okay, babe, let's do this. She's like, seriously? That's the
Does
last
that
thing that's
happen
on
a
my
lot?
mind. Yes, that happens.
Really?
Absolutely, it
Well,
happens.
yeah, there's dead bedrooms.
Okay,
and
think
stuff,
about
and-
this. Okay,
Yeah,
not to
but-
go here too deep, but at the same time, the women that
Go
are going
deep, Ice.
into menopause, you guys aren't even remotely thinking of that yet.
To be fair, I did date a woman who was 45. Just gonna say.
She's not even.
Oh
in
my
menopause.
God! What a
Yep.
saint you are! You throw this man a parade. What an absolute living saint he is.
But look at that face, though, after, like, that did nothing. Like, she was
Yeah.
not impressed by it, like, in the least.
He
You
wanted
know,
everyone to react like he said he dated an 80-year-old woman.
To him, that is 80. I mean, he's
She was
MGTOW,
40.
so...
She was 45. She was basically in hospice.
Well, I mean, for MGTOW guys 35, they're done. Like, women are done. Like, you
Yeah.
know? She was a decade past, she was done. Like, and he still accepted her for the one-night stand.
Not
you
only
know?
no eggs, but you've thrown the carton away.
And he made her pay for the first date too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
You
Oh my-
remember that. That is so true.
Yeah.
That's what you get for being 45.
Yeah. Yeah. There's one more really shocking short moment that
I
we
want to
have
listen to this
hear.
whole thing. Like, I'm totally
Oh, really?
entranced by Nitro.
Okay. Yeah, because the moment I was going to bring up is at 15 minutes after this. So, yeah, we could just let it rock. Because they're going to...
Until we get bored, and then we'll fast forward. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Really?
No,
I
50.
thought this starts
50. No. It depends on the woman.
Yeah,
But my
okay.
point
All
is
right. If you
that
know any
let's-
50-year-olds, get me in touch and I'll see what I
Okay,
can do.
so
He's
they're
so
going through menopause. The
pompous.
last
He's
thing
so
on there.
arrogant. For as little life experience as he's had, he is so arrogant about
Well, it just
dating.
goes to... It goes to show, though, like, she's saying that at 50 is when they go through the menopause. And he's
Yeah.
like, I didn't know about that. Like, because in his mind, it's 35. You know?
Right, you
He's
die
like-
when a woman turns 35. They turn into dust and they blow away.
Yeah, I can't say the word that starts with a Q and it's a fart from the bonus hole. You know, it's
Aw.
just dust comes out after that point,
Yes.
after 35. You know, you dust fart from the bonus hole. Here we
Her mind is sex.
I don't
They're
hate
having
him,
hot
by the way. I
flashes,
don't hate
they're-
Brian. I love Brian. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Well, we're New Yorkers. This is what we do. You know, and
we have
this
low
it's not
bullshit
like-
tolerance.
Yeah, we want him to be better. We're helping.
Yes.
They're miserable. They're not sexually active. Okay, so what happens to you at that point in time? You're still sexually active. She's like, no, I'm done, dude. What do you do?
What do you?
I mean,
am
are
I
you?
married to
My
her?
question
Am
is
I-
that it's more along the lines of this is where it's like the men have to come up to the plate and actually like seriously.
Foreplay? Are we talking about foreplay?
Yeah, you know what? If the relationship goes on, they just sometimes they just get it over with.
It's like you got 2 minutes. Now I got 5 minutes. But it's what I'm trying to say is the women aren't going to always be that sexually active as your relationship continues. You do have to work on it. The women have to work on it. The men have to work on it. But I don't think the body count's really that important.
These
at
people
that time.
should be on every fucking episode. There's more realness, more authenticity coming out of these two in the last 20 minutes than I've heard on all the hours that we've listened to.
I want to be
She
on
has
it
a
with
podcast.
them.
I know. I was gonna say, I wish they were on ours.
I know. I feel like it
Probably
would be
would've
way
stood
more
out.
entertaining too. Like
I wish
you guys
Nitro
have
was
real
my dad.
conversation.
Yeah.
Do you all want Nitro as your dad now?
I mean, I like.
I
my
went
dad, but maybe as a dad.
I went into this disliking Nitro because I think he came off very arrogant in the Gladiator show. But I am liking like the realness he's serving, and he's getting Brian to like be honest, which very few guests are able to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's his dad energy. I mean, that's his daughter sitting there. He's probably trying to size up Brian right now. You know, show him that like I could dominate you, Brian. Like,
But I love
you know.
Ice. Ice just goes, yeah, your body count, like that fucking when you actually get married to somebody or you commit to somebody, like that shit doesn't matter because it's like, okay, we're here now. What is our life gonna look like? What not like sweating the past, but people just use body counts to virtue signal and shame people.
Yeah, and she
And
did.
it makes you
She
better.
shook my
It
thought.
makes you better at things. So.
Yeah. Well, it's also it links with ratio. That's one of the other reasons why I did put this in there because, like, when people were going after you against a ratio, where I think they went wrong was like, look, I agree with the ratio. I think that makes a lot of sense, but I think paired together with body count. You know, like yes, if someone can get with 10,000 people and they've slept with 2,000. You know, that's still an okay ratio. You're at 20%, right? Like,
can you
know,
imagine you're going to nursing school and you're like, oh, well, typically, you know, nurses don't get jobs until they've put in like 200 clinical hours. But, you know, if you want to be a really boss ultra trad nurse, you know, you want to get in 0 hours of practice. That's not the nurse I would want to have. I would want the nurse that sucked a lot of dicks. Okay.
That's true too, you know. But I mean, there is a worry about STDs, but like, you know, people are changing my mind.
But I mean, the thing is, I think the people didn't want to speak about ratio because then the religious people, or at least Roslyn, like he would look way sluttier than me because I really think his ratio is 3 out of 3. And if anything, it's 3 out of 4, which is still sluttier. And so they couldn't accept it because I was going to look better than them.
Yeah, they didn't want you on their side. Yeah. Let's see where this goes.
Whatsoever.
I think the previous example you gave was like, well, what if you're in love with her and then she, like, you find out her body count? I mean, that's something that I would probably ask very early on, and the relationship just wouldn't proceed, I think, you know?
Okay,
So-
that's fair. I mean,
totally
if that's what
you
you're
have your
totally,
idea of what you want. I think that's great because I think too many people go in not having an idea of what their values or the moral hierarchy is, and then they go in and think, "Oh, love's going to take care of it all," and it doesn't, right? But I think, you know, at the end of the day, a blue pill takes care of everything.
I've been looking at these the entire podcast, and I'm like,
Are you going to take the red pill?
They come back.
I think you take both.
I think. Oh, purple pill. Okay, there you go.
I'm a purple pill. I'm a purple.
Okay, there you go.
am.
Ooh.
So just to close this loop.
Yeah.
Look, you can have really good sex when you've been in.
Daddy.
Just looks different than it did in the beginning.
What are we talking about?
It looks different.
What's it?
Sex is
My penis.
You know,
He's trying to say his penis is different.
Got a little
He's like,
wear
look,
on it.
Look, it's going to be sometimes me just mashing my dick into wherever I can get it. It looks different. No, we have no muscle definition anymore. I can't get it up without shooting something directly into it. It looks different.
And when it takes a nap, it stays in a nap for a very long time.
Yeah.
Eating, you're hours, you're jumping off this, the dresser, so to speak, and it's the most important thing. And anybody is always ready and available in the beginning. And then eventually it changes, but other things change with it. You can still have good sex. It's just, you have to work for it and you have to plan it a little bit more.
Got it.
Planning sucks.
Got it. We have a couple chats here. We have Puffy Vegas.
See, now, Chrissy, you have to, keep that in mind since, you're married now. So
I wish that Brian was like, she said planning sucks. And you could see how she said that. There was something behind that. Like it wasn't just like a throwaway. She's like, planning sucks. I'd be like, really, Ice? Like, how is planning, you know what I mean? Like, how is it difficult in your life? Like, I would have her expound on that because clearly there was emotion behind what she said. But instead, no, I'm going to bring up a super chat.
Yeah. Yeah, they go into super chats and they don't return back to that pretty much for a while. So we're going to move to the next spot because we're close to the end here. Just double check my numbers here. 50. I did my best, people. I'm recovering from COVID, then that's my excuse. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna die for a minute. I was like, Fealty's been sick for a minute.
I was very close on Saturday. I had to force myself to breathe. I was literally like on the couch there, like it was scary.
You were sitting there going, wiggle your big toe.
I literally, I had to every breath I had to think about. Like I couldn't just like breathe without thinking. Every single breath, and like living alone and going through the whole thing alone,
Fealty.
I was just staring at the ceiling. Yeah. I need to find a
You need
wife.
a blowjob nurse.
Yes. I need to find a wife that I marry, and then years down the line, I plan sex because it changes and it looks different.
It changes and it looks different, but she'll make you soup. That's the trade-off.
I like soup.
What if we all help to set each other up?
Yes.
We didn't mention it. You're engaged though, Chrissy. We didn't mention it earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How did this come? All right, let's finish this and we'll get into Chrissy's engagement.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did we finish it? Are we done?
No. Well, she was going to mention the Simpsons creator, and then there was one other thing I think was worth. Let me just double check. Yes, there was one other thing that was very, very worth covering at 2:15. I think you both will enjoy this. So we'll talk about the engagement because Sam Simon is the person she was talking about that she was dating. Okay. Which is not important because after rereading this timestamp I'm heading towards right now, I couldn't believe this was talked about. Okay. So they're talking about sex at this point. And the topic moves into
that's it.
You'll
Gratificate.
Sexually gratificate.
Sexual gratification. Are you going to stand for this kind of language from
your
daughter?
Language. You in trouble.
But so
no soup for you.
You did encounter a woman who was on steroids and I guess made the clip bigger, apparently.
Yeah, I mean it was.
Let me ask you, how were her orgasms?
Ooh.
Or did you care?
Ice knows. She fucking knows. Ice has been on steroids. She knows. She's smiling while she said that because she's like, basically what I'm hearing is steroids make your orgasms better. It makes your clit blow up like a balloon, but it really gives you better orgasms.
Turns into a little thing like that.
Wow. You come like a man.
But wait, it's gonna get so much better.
I can't believe that Madison and her dad are
I know. This is
I don't think I could ever sit at a table with my dad.
No, I would be out the window at this point.
Yeah. That's so nuts. How close are they?
Ugh,
that's
too close.
They
They're
don't
clearly
talk.
too close.
Like, I watched through the whole thing waiting for the moment that I could write down the timestamp where they talk about who's the mom, how is she his daughter, anything. They do not expand upon it other than that awkward moment at all. At all.
Wow.
It is the weirdest thing ever. I don't understand it. It perplexes me, yet I'm here for it. It was so
It's
entertaining.
just like, do they not have a close relationship? And she just,
It doesn't
called him up for the
seem.
show?
It seems awkward and a little strained.
Yeah.
Well, his first son is in Portugal, I think he had said. So that son's growing up in Portugal. The other son he has.
Every city where American Gladiators toured in, he probably has a child.
Oh yeah. They talked about that when they did that tour. It was like 120 something cities.
They had an international tour. I'm sure he's got a few kids over there.
Oh, and then like this is to go back on the show that like Brenna and I were on, but it's like how do we know that Adam and Lena's child is even Adam's?
True.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
True.
do we even know that for sure?
Yeah.
Well, apparently she has only been with like that one other dude, the black guy, which is when like their content really popped off, and then he was like, "Oh, good job, honey. Here's a new car," and they mostly just do all their threesomes, like their podcast, and then they have a threesome. It's always another girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think
But who knows?
He like hooked up with his friend before they were like official. So you never know.
Well, even with them, when they first hooked up, they did a video call to like one of their friends while doing this. So it's like, I would not doubt anything. I wouldn't doubt if they're just together for like the money and the payday.
Oh yeah, you could tell. Adam 22 was like counting down the years till they can retire. Like he is in it. He's with Lena for the clout and the money and the security, and you can tell like he totally defers to her on a lot of things. Like Frank was watching the clip of them for just a few minutes, and he's like, "Oh my god, like Lena wears the pants in this relationship." Like he could tell, after just a few minutes, like, "Oh my god, he's," I don't know if he said whipped, but he was like, "Oh my god, Lena's the dude. Like Lena's in charge here."
He's a kook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a kook. All right, so this is about to get wild though. So
it was interesting. It was just interesting, something physically to see. In technical terms, it looked like she had a little penis.
Yeah,
yeah,
Base.
like a little infant genitalia,
Whoa.
and it was just like
that's big.
It was a
He's
little
had
disconcerting, and she was like, she didn't want to get naked.
She was self-conscious.
She was very self-conscious. She didn't want to get naked because, it was a thing for her.
It's building
But,
up.
I'm sure there's a website for girls with large
there are.
that, guys go to and want to see and
I'm
want
sure it's on
wanna do it.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, it's on OnlyFans.
Your favorite, Brian.
I'm not gonna front. I kind of like a big clit. Don't get me
Ew!
wrong. I'm down.
I thought he was gonna say something else. I thought he was gonna say I like a cock or something. That's what.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Wow.
I'm so happy for that reaction. I was waiting
He's
for
like-
that moment.
I like a big clit. You know what? Even if it's a cock, I'm fine with it. The bigger the better. It looks like a dick.
Brenna's face.
Madison is cringing so hard.
Ugh. Yeah. Anything Brian says, I'm just like so grossed out by. I'm just like.
And then imagine it's your dad at this
Oh,
table.
it looks like Madison is trying to scoot away offset.
Yeah.
Like, look how far away she is now. She's like,
Yeah.
go.
I mean, she started a lot closer to Brian in the beginning.
Yes, now she
Oh, yeah.
wants out.
Well, she wants to get away from the man who likes the big clits, and he
Ugh.
cannot lie.
That is a slippery slope. One day a big clit, the next day a small dick.
Well, someday she goes to him and she's like, I just want to try just the tip. How about just the
Ugh.
tip in your butt?
Yep.
Then next thing you know, you need bigger and bigger,
Yep.
Exactly.
Let's see where Brian goes with his new
Down for
love.
big clit.
See
I
how
can't
big my
believe
thumb
we're
is?
actually talking about this right now.
It came up. I don't know.
This is my thumb.
That's
Oh,
Send her
that's
my way. Is
huge.
she still around?
No way. Are you serious?
Why not? Let's go.
Damn.
This is a guy who cares about body count.
Right?
I gotta link up with some bodybuilder gals.
Ew!
Look, it's
What is happening? How
Right?
he does not realize how this makes him sound.
Yeah, I think he
I don't know.
does.
Chat, like, do we have big clit appreciation in the chat? Like, and I'm not trying to body shame or vag shame, but like, I've just never in all my life heard a guy be like, you know what, I like a big clit. Like, I've just that's not a thing I've ever heard somebody have a preference for.
Well, Vermont said he has to go. He's got trauma.
Great.
You're welcome, by the way. You know,
but this is nuts. Like, he gave the thumb measurement, and Brian's into it. Like,
yeah. Well,
yeah,
he
most
has
people
his.
are like most people are in a range of vag looks and sizes, but to go to everyone and be like, I want a big one is like, that's curious.
I mean, like he's not saying meaty. He's saying like looks like a tiny man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he does have his charity, Big Labia Matters.
I know,
like the jokes.
exactly.
That's right. He's about it.
Yeah. Let's see. Where is he?
This
going?
doesn't happen to every girl who takes testosterone. It happened to her.
Oh, some, not all, but.
And
okay.
you know, I remember she actually cried because she was ashamed, and that hurt me. That you know, she was ashamed.
And we
of
used her
because,
tears for lube and
I
fucked
think everything's
anyway.
got,
Oh my
beauty in
God.
its,
Well, it's
in
kind
its
of like
own
being
way.
with a man that has a micro penis.
Oh, why did you look at
Or
me?
a girl with a large labia.
That was so wrong. Brian, she looked at me. She's like, it's kind
They're
of being with a
so
man who has a
fun. I
micro-
love these two.
Right? They should have a show. You
They're
know.
the best.
I would love if they had a podcast and Brenna and I went on theirs. It would be much
Aww.
Well, Ice
I love
does.
being on yours, but then the whatever one, Brian.
Yeah.
Ice does. I think she has an ice cast.
Yeah, it's called Chilling with Ice. Her shirt is the
Oh,
name
that's
of her
perfect.
podcast.
That's so
Yeah.
cute.
She's I've watched it before. She's cool. She's like well thought out person. But let's hear
Not
about
like-
micropeens.
Why are you looking at me?
Yeah.
That's when you really feel sorry for him. I think
Ah,
I was with one when I was super young. I mean, young meaning like
Was his last name Simon?
no, it was Clark. But
she just
I think I was
outed.
20, I want to say
Okay.
around that area, and it was kind of shocking. It was like, whoa, what do I do with this? Seriously,
Nothing.
what
try your
do
best.
I do with this?
You try your best.
Well, we have 3 girls here. Have you seen a micro?
I
No.
felt one through someone's pants one time.
Oh
I
no.
have seen pictures from my OnlyFans though.
What?
They actually really, really like it. Like the guys that have it, at least for my OnlyFans experience, they like kind of want me to like degrade them for it.
Yes, they want to know how small it is.
They get off on it, but like I'm not good at stuff like that, and I'm like naturally funny, so like they're like I'm getting turned on, but I'm laughing all at once because I'm like, let me get my glasses, I gotta zoom in, like I don't know what to say really. I like make jokes. I'm needing my glasses and zooming in.
Wow.
But I've told one person like it looks worse than like having like an innie belly button.
Oh no.
Yeah. But I did one time. This was when I was in college. I was visiting my best friend transferred and she was living in Philadelphia and I went to visit her. And we ended up like meeting guys out of this club and somehow going to an after party and ending up in Delaware. And I woke up, like I did not hook up with this guy, but there was this blonde guy. You guys know I love blondes. And we were talking and we slept in the same guest bed, but we had our clothes on. We didn't hook up. I woke up and he kind of like pushed my hand there and I could feel how tiny it was through his jeans that I got so grossed out. And I immediately like ran outside and found a car to drive me home because I was traumatized. Like I was not expecting it. The jeans.
It was really more like a micro traumatization.
Yeah.
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 Oh man.
Ugh, poor guy.
I mean, that's every guy's nightmare. Just saying. For a guy, you know,
Most
that's-
guys are
He
fine.
hooked up with me at night because he knew I might try to run home in the middle of the night and it would just be unsafe.
Was he yelling? It was cold.
I was in the pool.
Yeah, that's right.
I think he kind of had Brenna's little person reaction. Where, why does this always happen to me?
Oh,
How sad. How sad.
it's really
But
sad.
honestly, though, any guy, no matter the size, is sitting there worried until it comes out for the first time. No matter the size of the guy, there's a little bit of him, even if he's huge.
Unless
there's
he's
a little
black.
bit.
Yeah.
No, even if he's huge, there's a little bit of him that's worried that the girls could be like, really? Just that? Because if he is huge and the girl's not impressed, then how big have they experienced?
Oh.
You know? And if he's normal and she's going to react that way, he's like, well, I'm done for. Like, you know, like.
I think a lot of girls lie and they're like, they try to make them
You shouldn't.
feel better.
No, I don't. I'm on the side of never lie, because it's not gonna last a long haul. If it's not enough from day one, tell it from that second.
Oh, I agree, because it's only gonna get worse, especially if you tell someone like something feels good when it doesn't, and then they're gonna think it's good and always do it, and then you're like stuck.
Like, and you're
but
just
like, I'm not down to do like if someone's doing something and it doesn't feel good, do not tell them it feels good.
No.
Like that for a very long time. But I think girls are like, oh, you're so big, just like make them feel better.
I mean, if he has a lot of money and you want to marry him for the money, you know, go for that route.
You'd be like, oh, it's so big. What? My dick? No, your wallet.
Yeah. Like your ratio of wallet to peen size is the perfect ratio for me to be okay with the size you have would be a proper answer. You know, like you met the golden ratio, $80 million, 1 inch of peen. You know, there you go.
I don't even want it for $80 million for an inch. Like, no, thank you. But $80 million for. I don't know. I don't think I'd go smaller than at least like the minimum 5 for 80.
Really?
Now. I mean, I don't know.
The ratio's 5 for 80 on that. All right. Do we
don't
have
know.
any
I just
5
feel
for
like
80s out there?
I'll take my chances and just be in the regular world. I don't want like a 4 or a 3 or anything less.
No twos.
What about the girth to length ratio?
What about a solid 2?
Also about like how long it can last for, because otherwise, like sometimes it's just really annoying. It's like, all right, I didn't get anything out of this. What was even the point?
Yeah, would you prefer a 7-incher that doesn't last long, or a solid 2-incher that can go all night?
I mean, it is how you use it. That's for sure. But I don't know if you're gonna feel much with 2. I think maybe if you're doing like foreplay or something.
You know, you can buy extensions. You can buy little toys that like go onto your cock that like extend, like that's a little basically hair extensions for your cock. It's like a.
Oh my god! I've never heard of such a thing.
I only literally, me and Frank were looking at Pornhub and I saw like this ad for this toy in the corner. I was like, is that like that goes on your dick to make it like thicker and longer? I was like, I've never seen something like that before. I don't know. I've never like seen one in action, but I was like, wow, that exists. Okay.
I feel like that's kind of just like people buy it and then it's like kind of one of those things that you buy it and you're like, that wasn't a really good product. Like,
and you're like, oh, now it's a paperweight. Yeah.
Yeah, like I got really excited and didn't really do much.
I'm pretty sure dudes buy that for their dude friends just to make fun of them. Like, oh, he's got small peen.
What, like as a bachelor party present?
No, not even that. No, they go on Amazon and they buy it.
Courtney's the best. Going all night with 2 inches sounds exhausting. Hurry up and get it over with. Courtney is a woman of the people. All right.
But the way the dudes will do it, they'll buy from Amazon and they'll choose no Amazon packaging, so it's nice and public. You know, gets delivered to your door. You know, you put in the notes of the delivery. Leave on porch visibly. You know.
Oh, right.
That's what dudes would do. That's what I've never done this before. I've never signed up people for magazines.
To your friends right now and see what happens.
Matthew Hill, she just talks to some of us. Now I completely forget what this was about, but thank you. Raslin Mahere. Also, a belated hello, Chrissy. Came this way from FNT. Keeping up with all your guys' channels. Love what you guys do. Oh, thank you. Thanks, buddy.
Hail.
And
hail, Gary.
Finally, hail to Gary. Yeah, Gary and I are under attack right now. The Mexicans are coming after us for our Blue Beetle review. From Viking, Obama's ratio is 3 fists. That's funny. Good job.
Obama's ratio is all men. So
yeah. That's funny.
I love the shirt being worn while saying that too.
I know.
Oh my god! I have to pee. Wait, I have another wedgie. I have to go over here now.
Is that a map on that pillow?
This is yes.
The map of the world. Chrissy can show you the world.
I can't. This thing is just like hiking up my rear. Okay.
Your rear?
My rear. Why do I'm never wearing jean shorts again on a live stream. This is painful.
Wait, are those the Munty shorts though?
They all my jeans are munty. Do you guys know about muntiness? You don't. You just got here. All right, so this is an example of a munty looking short. It enhances this poochy body area. Like, sometimes if your jeans are just like a little bit big on you, like these are, like it makes this whole area look bigger, and then you sit down and it gives you what's called a munty look. Munty look.
Right. Well, I've never heard of that, but now I'm going to use that all the time. Like, I have one going on right now.
It's like, what is it? A combination of a mom, like a motherly gunt. It's a munt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these are
munty
shorts.
I mean, I don't like it, but I like
Yeah.
it. Rather not have it, but
it's a munt.
I can live without it, but
yeah.
You lose a little bit of weight, everything starts to look munty. Yeah.
I have found it. I have found the munt moment that I had
You have?
posted. Yeah, remember I have posted just like the quick moment of when that was invented. It was invented on Whatever Wednesdays, everybody.
Oh my god, that was one of the best episodes. It was me, you, and Keanu like laughing like assholes, just going back and forth, riffing on this joke for like what, hours? 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
have
God.
to edit it down. Like,
I
have
laughed so
much
hard,
stuff.
my body was in pain.
So this is the birth of the munt
Oh my
from a few weeks ago.
This is
Here
the
we
birth-
go.
Yeah, the birth of the month.
you look very comfortable though.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
love that.
this
I
very
think that's
chair.
the same spot. Yeah, right?
It is. Oh, it is. Yeah.
All right, here we
You may
go.
not recognize this shade is up.
Oh, yeah, shade. Yeah.
What I hate about these jeans is that they actually make me look fatter because of they're a little bit big, and like the way that they bunch, it's like it makes me look like I have a fucking mom gunt. And I just want the viewers to know that that is not the case here.
You don't. You wouldn't be laying that way.
I don't have a munt.
You come up with
very
it.
munty right now.
No, you
Munty. That's my new description for a frumpy outfit. Like, that's munty. Look how boob. Look, it's like this is like boobtastic. Look, I'm sticking my own hand in my pants. Look at this.
No, they're
Look at your fingers come off.
baggy. They are. They're like your lesbian painter
These are
jeans.
not even that old, and they're the second your jeans get a little bit big on you, they make you look so fat. I don't know what
And
it is.
that's-
It was just
no, they make you look thinner. It's like everything's falling off of me. See? Yeah. Very thin and chic. No one's thinking that. No
I'm
one thinks
munty. I don't want to get any even
that
muntier.
like flap of fabric. is
I hate
your
this.
body.
I hate this so much. This is why I don't want to wear jeans. Is this munty, coochie, gunty flap of denim right here? This is the reason why I don't like jeans. Look at all this. This is all this material. It looks like I'm jerking myself off.
It's perfect. I love it. We love a baggy jean moment. Look, yes, you definitely have a. Oh my God, look at it now.
Look at my butt. Look at my butt.
There you go. That's the birth of the
The
munt.
name of the girl with the testosterone.
Oh, she's
Wow.
munty.
Right.
She needs those jeans.
Right. Yeah.
She needs the jeans.
She needs to munt up her life. That's what she needs. She needs to go to the gym and get more muntiness in her life. That's what she.
Yeah, I mean, the less I go to the gym, the muntier I become. Yeah.
Golly. There's actually like one more moment though from the
Let's do it.
Yeah. So we've been wondering about the drinking situation and stuff, right? So they actually talk about it. So like you've all been on the show, well, except for Chrissy. Yet you're going to.
I don't think they're gonna have me. You know, they threw out September 5th, and then I've been trying to confirm since late July, and I get nothing from these people. So I think
Chrissy and Brenna, though, when did you get your confirmation? Like when you were going to be on the shows?
Like right away.
Right away, yeah.
See?
Oh, really?
Which I'm surprised, like, you haven't gotten. I was joking because I have like 750 followers on Instagram, and I'm like,
well, now you do, but you had a little.
No, before that I had less, and I'm like, how did I get picked?
So like
Wow.
I did it first, and they were like, "Do you want to bring a friend?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then Brenna filled out her application. Like they were both like, "When?" They were like, "When can you come?" And we were like, "All right, well, California is like kind of a big deal. Let's like book it 2 weeks out." And we randomly picked the 22nd. And
where do you guys live?
I live in Miami.
Okay, Miami.
And we met when I used to live in Nashville, and that's when we met. We actually lived in the same building, but
see, I got on July 31st. I actually first reached out July 26th. July 27th, they send the long questionnaire. July 31st, they say September 5th looks like the only doable date, and I go, that works. And I have 2 friends. I have Keanu Thompson, comedian and OnlyFans creator, and Lila Hart, comedian and documentary. Let me know. This is August 2nd. Let me know. Trying to plan out the rest of my LA schedule. I want to see if I can make it work. Could you provide answers to the questions above? That was August 2nd. August 3rd, I provide all the answers. August 7th, hey, trying to confirm. August 20th, hey, trying to confirm. Nothing. Dead air. Wow. So I think I'm off the list.
You can't like call Chase.
Funny people on it though.
Yeah, I don't think Chase is involved anymore.
Yeah, but he can call up Brian and be like, "Hey, Brian, I've got this friend. She's cool.
Maybe.
I've been on her show. Like,
maybe, yeah.
You know, I think
they have a whole tribute show, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, I think if you talk to Chase, like, you see if he could contact.
Yeah,
him.
but that feels so stupid. Like to bother him with this.
Well, I mean, you could be out there anyway.
They want me and Brenna to come back. So
wow,
Really?
see, look at that. I get no respect.
You should
I
go.
think it's because
on the 5th.
I'm a boring married person without an OnlyFans. What do they want with me?
Well, it might not be that though. On the episode with was it on your episode, Chrissy? He mentioned that they're gonna have a episode with all the guys from Daily Wire. So they're gonna have like a bunch of Daily Wire people on.
They
bonus.
have had Michael Knowles on in the past.
Yeah, but they're doing it as a bonus. So like if they told you the 5th, I don't know if that's a Sunday or a Tuesday, but they're doing the bonus thing is on an off day. So
It's
that's
a Tuesday.
Gonna be on
It's literally this Tuesday.
So then that's going to be the 5th, 6th, 7th. That's going to be Thursday. They're going to do that show on Thursday. So they might be really busy getting that all planned out and sorted, So that could be something to it. But yeah, it's weird that they're not replying. But I would say just hit up Chase, see if he could just be like,
it's a little gay.
Brian,
I'm not trying to bother him. He's like not really involved right now. He's not like a booker, producer. He's dealing with his own shit.
He could call up Brian and just be like, "Hey, Brian, this is someone I know. She's cool peeps.
Hey,
She'd be good on your show."
Yeah, and I'm bringing 2 friends. One who has an OnlyFans, so I'm fulfilling that part of the requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lila is disabled, so it's diversity. What more could you want?
Brian likes little people. Brian is into little people.
Right. That's right.
Last time too.
Yeah. Someone has to just get in touch with Brian somehow and tell him if he gets Chrissy on with Keanu and Lila, then he will have a little person on the show, an OnlyFans person, 3 comedians.
And, whatever this is. Yeah, I'm an old married eggless whore. Yeah.
And the Queen of Munt. He needs the Queen of Munt on the show.
Munt Queen.
Yeah. Hell yeah. We
Let's
gotta
get
make this happen. We need
Muncie,
Chrissy
Brian.
on the show.
Come on.
He does
Just
though, like
lie
right?
and
He
tell
likes
him
the
you have
little
a big
people.
labia, and he'll get you right on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great
That's why
point. Like, hey, did I forget to mention I have a huge labia? Does that help? Does that make you want to confirm me?
Yeah.
You gotta roll into those DMs. This is what you gotta roll into the DMs. Like, look, Brian, I've got a 3-inch female peen because I was on testosterone for 20 years. I've got a friend who's a little person. All of us are, OnlyFans. We have gigantic labias. You'll be able to see it through our... Yeah, no, you'll be able to see the gigantic labias through our munty jeans. You gotta have us on the show. We're gonna be out there in Cali.
The months will be dressed for a night out.
Yeah.
Yes, Frank brings up a good point. My dance card is filling up, so there might not be room.
Oh.
With all my other big time appearances.
Well, then you say whatever to whatever.
Yeah, I go. Guess what? You munced out.
Golly. All right. Let's find out about the drinking really quick, because it's something we've wanted to learn about because it doesn't make any sense. He does have a semi-reasonable response, though.
Just so negative in their connotation.
Yeah.
I think, look, we tried. It didn't work. And, we just want to do something else, and that's okay. That's okay.
34-4.
Got it.
You found out her body count.
When
dumped her.
Here's my question: when Madison turns 21,
I just remembered Madison brings up her, like they make her say her body count in front of her father.
Oh no! And is she like? And one of them is dad.
Yeah, it's
Multiply it by 3, and that's the real number.
It's probably more. It's probably more than that.
Ew.
You don't even know me.
Times
man.
5, times 5.
You don't even know me.
100.
So let's say your body count is whatever it is. Let's say
lost track.
Let's say it's 30. Sure. Okay. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
For
not really.
are you over 30? Is your body count over 30?
No comment. I'm a
no comments.
How do you feel about that, Kristy, at 22?
Okay, I feel like he's such a hypocrite.
Yep.
Like now he doesn't have a comment. He never wants to say his number. His number is probably super high. I don't know how. Like his ratio is super high. Just look at him. Like, I mean, I guess he only gets girls because he has a podcast. But
in a comfortable chair.
Comment. Like if it's a hard no, there's no comment. It's like no, much lower than that because he cares so much about body count. He's like no. Like. And he didn't react, no comment. Like, he's definitely over 30. His body count's definitely over 30.
Yeah. I mean, he was a millionaire before this.
So judgmental to us.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is
it's
hypocritical
funny how
that he doesn't give his stats when he asks for everybody else's.
Right.
Yeah, he should be the most open with all of his stats. Like,
Mhm.
but then again, he'll admit he's into gigantic,
men.
Peeny vages. He'll admit that, but body count, no, he can't. Because he knows he asks it of all the girls. But yeah,
Oh, God.
Wait, it's about
Madison?
to get nasty.
No comment.
Wait, say it.
She's not over.
Madison, you've already revealed it. You revealed it before.
Is this before or after we know it's her dad?
Just for a second.
No,
Go.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't want to get into this right now. He's like, you revealed it before. Yeah,
Oh
but
my
her dad
God.
didn't see it.
It's like, this girl works on your show. Don't you give a fuck at all about her comfort level? It's like, no, he doesn't. He wants the clip.
And I have a question. Do we know it's her dad at this point?
Yes, they have said it.
Yeah.
They said it, what, 20 minutes in? Half hour in?
Yeah,
Okay,
that
so
was about 20
that's weird.
There were multiple occasions where she would call him dad, and they did have some father-daughter talks while her dad was admitting he saw a trans person when he was living in Asia growing up. Also, Nitro growing up lived in a brothel. His dad was a womanizer that owned a brothel. He lived in the brothel with a whole bunch of trans people in the brothel because it was the Philippines. And none of them were actually women. Yeah, so he's had a wild past. But let's see if she's gonna say.
What is my daughter speak? Now we're having a come to Jesus.
Ooh. What is it?
8.
8?
I have a joke about that.
Look at his
8.
Sweetheart, you're just...
He's going to get
She's
the belt.
starting
No,
out.
There's like a whole
out, man.
backstory. I can get into it, but
Is he disappointed it's not higher?
You know,
Are you disappointed with 8? Or
Yeah.
He looks
surprised at 8.
I'm
a lot of people are disappointed by 8. I wanted to say sorry to my father. I've never revealed this to my father before, so.
Oh, nor should you have had to.
Yeah.
8 don't hate.
Yeah, 8 don't hate. I can't hate over the 8.
What is your body count? Do you know? Do you even know? I don't think he knows.
Yeah, it's very brave of you to say that, Madison, and I appreciate your courage.
He's skipping the question.
Whoa, he does not. He did not like to hear that.
5 million subscribers, 3.5.
He just pictured 8 dicks going into his daughter, maybe at the same time.
But also, hasn't he watched the show before?
It doesn't look like it. It doesn't. Yeah. Nobody in my family watches a single thing I do, and Nitro has that same energy of everyone in my family.
Yeah. I mean, out of the near decade of me on YouTube, I don't think my family watched any of it.
And it's for the best, really.
Yeah. I really wouldn't want to have the conversation about certain things. Like, you say something and you're like, I don't think I want my family to know that.
Mm-hmm. It's something super
No, I agree. I only want my sister and her husband, like, they've been watching everything, but I don't really want my parents to, like, watch this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even
My
my
mom's
mom
like,
asked.
can I see it? I'm like, I'll send you clips.
Same.
There's some things that should not be, only told to the whole internet and not your family.
Yes, right?
But for their own benefit.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, your family, then every like holiday meal and stuff like that, it's gonna get brought up and stuff, and it's just like, oh.
My dad's like, I don't want to know, like he like reads over like any contract or anything I have to sign, but he's like, Kristy, I don't really want to know what you're doing. Like the less details, the better. Like,
golly. All right, should we go let's cover the booze topic really quick, because it's just something we've talked about like every week, and it doesn't make any sense, because like I think, well, for Chrissy, like, I mean, you have your show on Compound Media where it's so free and people can say anything because Anthony Cumia is
there's
awesome.
There's nudity, there's anal ring toss, spicy takes.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Where is the show?
In New York, in the Herald Square area. That's where the studio is. But my show's every Monday at 7:00. If you're ever in town in New York City, come by, do it. You could do it live.
Yeah, Brenna, maybe we could take a little trip.
Oh, so I see trip.
Yeah.
That'd be epic.
And we could also like go home to my home in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Let's do it.
That would be pretty epic. That would be pretty wild.
Then we could go to Sullivan's across the street.
Well, you're not back until September 11th. That's when your next show is, right?
Yes, never forget it.
Yeah.
Oh, and guess who's supposed to do the show on September 11th, who I don't expect to show up?
No.
Isabella.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
How did I know?
Also, what's even weirder, another guest that was supposed to do the show has since died since I booked him. So
Gosh.
I'm going to have to do some retooling.
Oh, all right, well, maybe we'll come.
Actually, that would be great. Because right now it's only my friend Matt Mead.
Oh, really?
It's not that
think
fun.
you both would like Matt Mead, though.
He's got a boat. He's tall. He's single. Yes,
he's
terminally single. Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
He's over. He's like 6'2".
Oh.
He's got a good, I'd say, ratio to his body. Like, he's not fat, but he's not skinny. I wouldn't say he's muscular, but
is it a dad bod?
No,
I would say no. It's better than a dad bod because
it's like a solid uncle bod.
Yeah, he doesn't have moobs. It's not mooby.
No,
but
he's not
it's
munchy
like
or movie.
Yeah.
How old is he?
Gotta be what, young?
That's
30s?
a good question. I think maybe 35.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we
you
just
guys
hook
would
up
like
Matt
it.
Mead? But wait, no, that's just for Chrissy, because for Brenna we have push-ups.
Push-ups.
Oh, right.
But Christy only likes blonde man buns. So
yeah. So what color hair does he have?
Oh, all right.
But it's not that
Wait,
I
he's
really
not
like them. Like I've dated other kinds, but I just prefer them. And if they're gonna break your heart regardless, they might as well be your type, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think he's like a hazily kind of hair,
Yeah.
like kind of blondishly brown.
We could dye it. There's a lot of the guys I found out that have long blonde hair actually do dye their hair.
I'm willing to bet he would dye his hair. He is the type of guy who would.
He might.
This is gonna be hilarious. All right, so let's learn about the drinking.
You know, they're just so negative in their connotation. I think
when did they start?
We just want to do something else, and that's okay.
Yeah. When do you mention it? Mention
it. You found out her body count.
Oh, yeah. That's
dumped her.
Here's my question: when Madison turns 21, do you guys get to like present alcohol to these things?
Oh wait, she's only 18 years old.
Wait,
How old is Madison? How old is Madison?
She's 19.
Oh, she's had 8 at 19. I didn't even lose my virginity till 19.
Me too.
Whoa.
Yeah, I lost my virginity at 18.
She's hitting the ground running.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
That's high for 18, 19.
Yeah.
Very.
Well, think about the ratio. In what? Just a few years, she said yes to 8. You know.
That's why everyone comments with me
high,
my ratio idea because they would look so bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, she's 1/3 of your total at 19, and your total of 22 at 33. It's like, and still the cowards wouldn't talk to the 600 total that was sitting next to you. Cowards.
Maybe that's what happens. Yeah, when your dad is an American Gladiator, you can't say no.
Yeah. Well, I have no doubt in my mind when he heard that number, he knows all the boys she was dating when she was a teenager. And all he's thinking about is like, okay, that one lived on that block. That one lived on that block. Like, I will find them, you know?
Yeah, he's...
Oh my God.
Look, his face right now is thinking about it. That's what his face is thinking about right now. He's like, I'm going to rip his eyeballs out. Like, you know? Yeah.
And donate them like Jerry Orbach.
Yeah. We brought it back, Chrissy. The setup. That was totally planned, everybody.
I don't think Yes, that's why we had this show.
Yes. So let's learn about the drinking.
We have a lot of people or drink on here.
We
too, so, like
I think it would make the
thing.
shows in some ways it could make them a little more spicy, but we have concern of like if we even someone
you've
who's
considered it.
Well, even someone who's over 21, it's like, they brought us on the show and then they got us drunk and then we said all this stupid stuff and then it's gonna be like
exactly.
So we don't want. Like,
oh no, I was just thinking we've been sitting here so long. A couple drinks would have been great.
Oh, we have some wine and some white claws or something if you guys want.
So they have drinks.
Get some brown alcohol, Brian.
So wait, so Brenna, Chrissy,
we have drinks. We just haven't been offering them.
No,
we brought our own though.
I DM'd them ahead of time, and I'm like, "Hey, can we bring alcohol?"
Yeah, we're like, "What's up? Like, do you guys supply alcohol? Do we bring it ourselves?"
Yeah, and then they just responded, "If you want." So we were the only ones that were drinking.
Yeah, and we didn't drink that much. We had 2 drinks before, and then we brought like a margarita in a can. Like,
yeah, you can't serve a White Claw. Exactly, it's a good point. You can't serve a White Claw to a 60-year-old. You need to have, for ice. I imagine she either likes vodka sodas or a Sauvignon Blanc or a Chardonnay. And I would say for nitro, you got to get like a Bullet Bourbon or something. Maybe a Jack and Coke.
Say it. So they give you this whole long message about how to dress, where the location is, to get there early, to speak into the mic. Why don't they say like, like if you want to drink, it's BYOB, but you got to put it in a cup,
Yeah, they said eat something hearty before.
Yeah, they tell you what to eat, and they suggest eat, drink a coffee, but it's like, why did we have to ask that? And we're going in there thinking everyone's just gonna be fun and like, maybe like offer some drinks. Like,
I could picture Ice drinking a White Russian and Nitro drinking a Bush. Like if that was their personality.
You know what I can picture them not drinking? Neither of them would drink a Bud Light. That's what I sense.
No, out of principle.
Bud Light is canceled. Bud Light is
Yep.
Well, didn't Kid Rock get caught drinking a Bud Light? Like someone got a picture of him drinking one at like an event, and like it was
Wait, really? Because he did that whole thing, didn't he? Like shoot a Bud
Yeah.
Light down?
He went
That is
hardcore.
embarrassing.
He was like, "I'm a cowboy, baby," and he shot it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Doesn't he? I don't know if he does that song. I can't remember now. But yeah, so
Yeah,
they
he
do
does
the
it.
drinking. Let's.
It would have been. It'd be like Bachelor in Paradise. Everybody's
shit, we
drunk
should've,
and the inhibitions go down.
Yeah,
Because you know alcohol
next time.
affects the brain, right? The number one thing it does is something in your brain that causes us to be inhibited. When you drink, that goes down, so you become less inhibited. But I think what the shows that I've seen of you guys,
Which means the body count goes up.
the shows I've seen you guys, I think everyone speaks pretty freely, especially the panel shows.
Yeah.
And they're
So he
entertaining.
does
They're
watch
good.
the
I was
show.
watching him before we came on the show.
Wow.
I'm like,
Oh, nice.
oh, that's entertaining. I was like, stop watching. You've got work to do. Stop watching.
But yeah, they're long.
That's
too,
when he
but,
missed the body count
Well,
of his
but you
daughter.
know what's interesting is the
like,
issues are the
okay,
same.
how did you not hear that?
You know, you guys talk about, you know, the same dating issues we
Yeah.
talked about in our day, and it's nice to be able to come back here, you know, from being in that world at that age that you guys and your panels in, to come back and say, oh, God, I remember those. And you know what? It hasn't changed.
It's still the same. It's still the same.
I thought that was
Okay, I
fascinating.
have to go feed
so
my dogs.
I left that in there. There's one more moment I think is. Yeah, wasn't that interesting? Like I thought honestly, anyone watching, please do the point of this is not to watch the entirety of the thing, and there are moments that I do have timestamps for of fascinating chats, but the point is to pick out specific moments, but there's such worthwhile stuff on this one. This one was like a podcast. This one was really good and a fascinating chat, but there's one thing I have to pull up here that happened at the end, which I think is so apropos for right now. So this moment, it's gonna need a little explaining after it happens. But all right, so 2:38:40 I have written down, but it might be a little bit early, so let's just hear it out.
Last call. Hit the like button, please. Oh, okay. We have one more.
Mazak87 donated $99.
Thank you,
Great
man.
show today, Brain.
Thank you.
It's a nice change of pace to have some people with intellect. All your girls
Yep.
in 304's got kind of tiring and mind-numbing. Great job, and great guests.
Hey, Zach. Thank you, man. Appreciate
I just put that in there because I just felt like it was another Kristy dig, because this is coming in after,
Right,
you rocked the show. Yeah, and that's how he ended the show with it was just, had to have another one, the haters.
Yeah, I know, 1,000%. And they're saying their body count's pretty high. They're both admitting it to it. But the OnlyFans girls are still the worst ones. Just girls. It's fine because they're more of an adult than I am. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do though. To be fair, Nitro is currently in a relationship. I think he said it was 7 years with the current one, and before that was 14 years. So it's been a long time since they were kind of going around the block. And same for Ice. For her, it was both were over a decade long. Her two recent relationships. So they have changed. Since now they're probably in their 60s, So, but they do talk about their earlier years, and Brian without batting an eye is just well, that's normal, you're just going from, town to town, Nitro giving you this whole story of how he got a girl pregnant, and she told him she doesn't ovulate, he has sex with her once, gets her pregnant, months later she's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm pregnant, and
I
he's
guess
like,
I
what?
ovulate.
Yeah, she's like, oh, it's a blessing from God, she says, and Nitro points out, he's like, we don't believe in God. He was like, we don't believe in God. And that's when he was like, yeah, her excuse was, you just must have really great sperm, and
So do you think she actually just set him up for that, or
yeah, most likely. Girls do that, sometimes. All right, so
It
let's
do
go
be
through.
like that sometimes.
Yeah, which is why I kind of worry about my assets and stuff and not wanting to get married without a prenup. But all right, so let's go through the super chats here before let's close it up because we're 3 hours 40 in. It's been a great show so far, but let's go through the super chats.
I wish that my Sunday one was up to talk about it.
I know.
Yeah, we'll have to.
I time-stamped it. Like,
I know, it's so annoying. It's like, do they do it on purpose when they found out I was coming on here?
Well, I don't even know who the person is who did that copyright. Like,
Okay, so I actually do. So yeah, I guess whatever, didn't actually do it on purpose because it was me and then 2 other girls in like the title picture. And I was like, who are these other girls? I was just sitting for 5 hours at a table and I cannot figure out who the other 2 are. And then one guy commented and said it's this girl, and it was that girl was the one that like did the copyright thing, and she was like, yeah, I'm in Japan, that's not me, I didn't give them permission to put me in this picture. Ooh. So it wasn't even girls at the table other than me.
That's so weird.
I don't know why they use.
Yeah, you're all cute. Why would he need to get pictures of randoms for the thumbnail?
There were 2 other young girls that they could have used.
Yeah, the Asian girls.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why.
I thought that they were the Asian girls. I thought the pictures on the thumbnail were the Asian girls at the table.
I was like, wow, did this girl just have pink hair and from the picture they took? But I couldn't recognize her. And then it turns out it wasn't even like a girl on the panel.
Well, we'll see for next week. We'll see for next week, I guess. But all right, so let's go through these last super chats here. Raceland joined in on the puns, saying, "Do you guys want a taco about the attack?"
Oh, if you're talking about the Mexicans trying to cancel me, I will be talking about that tomorrow at 10 p.m. So tune back in.
10 p.m. Oh.
10 p.m. I'm just gonna have a quick little stream going over my Mexican cancellation.
Oh, okay. So I thought you were like, I was like, you don't usually do streams at 10 p.m. Like unless it's like CMP.
It's gonna be late.
And gay. All right. We got 2 more. Chrissy, can you locate Malaysia on the map of your
Maybe
pillow,
if it's on a map of loser countries, but otherwise no.
I think I probably could. I think it's just I don't know. Golly. Okay, so last one, Mark of Reality. So Nitro should be less inhibited right after hearing his daughter's body count and flipping through a Rolodex of her boyfriends in his head, right? That's exactly, like, as a man, I knew, like, that's exactly what he was doing. He was thinking back to, like, that time, like... Yeah, no, he's sitting there thinking about that time when the boy comes over the house, they go upstairs to the bedroom, and he was sitting there listening to every creak and sound that was happening, and at that moment he's thinking, that's when it happened.
Doing homework, Dad. Like, no, you're getting fingered, and maybe more.
Well, 8. I mean, she says body count of 8, so like that means full on, I guess.
When did you get started at that rate? Did you get started at 14, 15, 6? That's so young.
That's why she doesn't like my ratio theory.
Right.
Maybe.
She already ratioed herself.
No one likes the ratio theory because everyone's going to look super slutty.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Except
my ratio's good.
Because look at
I like it.
Chrissy, I love how on the last whatever Wednesday you were like, they don't know what it's hot to be out in the wild.
They don't know what it's like to be walking around with all this. You got all this coming at you. You think I'm gonna get 2-3 takers in a lifetime? You're crazy.
Exactly. That's everyone's like problem. Like they're not hot out in the wilds like us.
I mean, I know how many girls I flirt with. I never pass up on a chance to flirt, so I can only imagine. You know, but I don't really flirt with the intention of getting with. I like to flirt. It's fun. You know, who doesn't like a good flirt?
You're a Gemini. Yeah. You just like to chat it up.
Yeah, but we're not bad people. Gemini are not bad people. I'm just saying this. Yeah,
they're
great fun.
My sister is a Gemini. She's my favorite person other than Brenna, so.
Oh, what are you guys?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Ooh. That's a good friend.
Capricorn.
Ooh, wow. Those are good, strong, like leadery signs.
Yeah, the power's in the palm of my hand. So.
Oh, you know, I'm so mad we can't even bring up the moment of you talking about the fact that your tattoo is less dark because of all the hand jobs over time.
I just totally like, I joke about that to everyone because like it's a lot of people won't even give you a palm tattoo. This is only 2 years old. Like Brenna was there when I got it. But a lot of people won't even give you palm tattoos because it's just gonna fade so fast. And you're supposed to not use your hand for a month. And I went back into bartending a week later because I just couldn't do that work that long. So anytime someone's like, why is it faded? I'm like, too many hand jobs. Because it's like, who even wants the hand job? You know what I mean? But yeah.
Guys? I think guys do.
I feel like so many guys like are like make fun of hand jobs because they'd rather
really
jobs. So
Look, I think a lot of guys get disappointing ones. See, like, I think girls think that all girls are just great at it, when for guys, the majority of girls they're going to run into do it for about 20 seconds and then are looking at you like, is it not done yet? We've been doing this for 20 seconds. It should be done. In the movies, this would be done. You know, like if this was really sex, you would have been done 20 seconds from now. Why is it not done in this form? You know, so for guys,
really,
like,
really good because look at this. It needs to be all connected and it's not faded. So.
Well, the ratio of girls who are good at doing that will wear away a tattoo compared to the girls who are bad at that is there's much more girls that are bad at that.
And
it
that's
could
why
be
I
maybe they're
joke about
nervous.
it, because it is like something that most guys are like, oh, I could do that better myself. So that's why I think it's funny that it's not from like a blowjob. It's like a hand job because most guys are like,
Chrissy has peed and come back. We have another super chat, by the way.
Yes, I did pee. I had to pee really bad. I broke my seal on these Trulies. Push-ups is also a Sagittarius.
Wow. Although I just needed a fire sign, and 2 fire signs were not good together. But maybe
you're disqualified.
It's different.
Maybe push-ups will be different. Can we see a picture of push-ups?
You'll have to come to the wet spot on September 11th.
I actually don't have one.
I know where we could get one.
Yeah.
Tell him to slide into my DM.
We're gonna give him time to get it together.
Yeah, no, he has until you come to New York and you come to the wet spot.
Slide in!
Did he say he's gonna slide in?
I don't think he's ever slid in anywhere in his life.
Oh.
I think if he did, he would
First time for everything.
Who knows?
Oh,
all right.
I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. You know. Let's show. Yeah.
He's a good guy.
I think he could do it. You
I
know.
need one of those in my life, so maybe he'll.
Really?
It all met.
Ooh.
Okay.
See.
Well, I mean, he is. I guess he's more into DeSantis than Trump, though. So I guess that might be a negative.
Oh. Deal breaker.
Yeah. And I bring that up for selfish reasons. I argued with him for about an hour one night at the bar about the fact that I feel Trump is the choice and DeSantis, hasn't been tested. And I mean, I could get into all the reasons why I was right. I'm just saying, I think I've been proven right even more so since then. So, I just bring that up to hopefully change his mind even more that, if you want to get with Brenna, did you see the face that was made when I brought up DeSantis over Trump?
Yeah.
Just saying.
First of all, I want to keep my governor in Florida. Second of all, I don't like that he's like trying to tear our party apart. Give Trump his final little go at it. It's like the conservatives on the episode we were on, like getting all mad, like tearing us all apart. Like that's what DeSantis is doing.
Yeah, no, he is. And Vivek, and I was shocked earlier when on Chrissy's, in the interview when it came out that Vivek had $2 million going to school, but then still takes $90,000 from Soros. No, you have lost me, sir.
Yeah.
Even if you took 1 penny from Soros, you have lost me.
No,
you are compromised, sir. You've now joined the machine.
Yeah. That's disgusting. I don't want anyone that has anything to do with him. No.
Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing as like being in a picture with like Klaus Schwab, like, yes, we are the friends who will make you own nothing and you will be happy. Like, I'm done with you. Like, that's all I need to know. If you even have his phone number in your phone book, that's it. If his name is in your diary, I'm done with you. You know? Okay, I went too
That's how,
far.
like, Isabella feels about me, though. Like, oh, my name can't be anywhere near her because I'm an OnlyFans.
I wonder, did she reply to me? Let me see. I haven't checked.
Viking says MGA and Ian are going to love Kristy and Brenna. They would. They love any woman with a pulse. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I felt special for
Yeah, we felt special.
No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. They will,
so cute and funny.
they will specifically,
yeah,
they will love you guys because you're smart, funny, cool, and obviously totes cute. So yeah, come to New York. Like, we'll make a day of it. It'll be a whole thing.
100%. Don't tempt us with a good time.
Yeah.
Yay.
Exactly.
All right, let's go around and everybody let the people know where they can find you, starting with Brenna.
You can find me at Bren Bagby. Push-ups. Slide into the DMs.
Oh my God, push-ups is your big moment. Please don't bring MGA. Push-ups, you know what to do. Get in the DMs. Kristy Saint Regis.
Yeah, that's my Instagram handle, so you can find me there. Just make sure you spell it right, because everyone was spelling my name wrong on the whatever podcast. First they were calling me Blondie, and then they were spelling it with a CH and an IE. It's KRSTY, Saint Regis. But I mean, you can see it on the bottom of the screen. You're not dumb.
Oh, push-ups, it's Instagram.
Yes.
Push-ups.
Only comedians and dudes are on Twitter. All the pretty girls are all on Instagram. Everybody knows this.
Should I give them my
Fealty?
username?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. It's I Heart Kristy, but there's no E in heart. It's IHARTKRISTY.
So like Lila Hart.
Oh, okay.
My pledge name when I was in college was Hartley, so everyone just called me Hart. So it's actually kind of like has to do with like my nickname.
What sorority?
Alpha Phi.
Alpha
All
Phi.
right,
I was
awesome.
Zeta Beta Tau.
Oh, we didn't have them at Hofstra.
Oh, at Hofstra?
Yeah. Where'd you go?
Brooklyn College. But we got around.
You went to Hofstra?
Yeah.
I almost went to Hofstra.
Wait, really?
Wow.
Oh,
Hofstra. So did you go to McKeeb's?
What? Yes, McKeeb's.
Did you go to McKeeb's? Are they still like open?
I don't know about
that's like
that was a long time ago, but there was McKeeb's, there was Dizzy's, there was Nachos. But yeah, I went to all that. But I graduated in 2012, so it's been a while.
So McKeeb's has been open a minute. Yeah.
McKeeb's, it was
That's
definitely
cool.
So the owner of McKeeb's was my landlord. And because he owns like a bunch of the houses around there.
Wow.
And me and all my sorority sisters would
That's
go up
cool.
to him and we'd be like, we can't pay our rent if we have to pay for drinks, even though like our parents are like the ones sending the checks in for rent. And he's like, just give them whatever they want, just let them drink for free. Like, because we were just so annoying.
Must be nice to be girls, just saying. Never
I know
gotten a free drink.
had a raspy voice. You still let me drink there for free.
That was one of the first bars I ever.
Oh, Chrissy, you're breaking
I
up.
would underage drink at McKeeb's all the time, and I didn't even. This is like, when you're drinking so like young, you don't even know what the hell drinks are. You don't even know what to order. Like, that's how old I was, and I overheard somebody else ordering a Midori sour, and I was like, oh great, that's the name of a drink. So I would just drink that for a year because I didn't know what the names of other drinks were.
Oh my!
Yeah, there was the Midori, the whiskey sour.
So that was my year of Midori sours.
That was the aughts. The aughts was the Midori age. You'd have the Midori sours, the whiskey sours, and then you'd have that Gasolina song that would play at every club. Everyone was always about the Gasolina.
Yeah. Born and raised. Yes, Midori forever, man. It's crazy.
I don't even know if I've ever really had Midori, to be honest.
It's a good drink. It's tasty.
You're not missing anything.
I liked it.
Brenna, maybe we'll try it when we go to NYC.
There we go.
No, it's not. It's terrible.
I liked it. I like tasty drinks.
I smell it. I smell one and I go, oh, that smells like getting fingered in a Jeep. Oh, okay.
Does it smell like kapuka shell necklaces?
Guys, that has been our show. Fealty, did you tell the people where they can find you?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me at Ghostly Fealty on Twitter for now. I'm gonna change the name this weekend to something else. And then Fealty Thoughts on Instagram. But I don't really use the Instagram. I just share the stories, and other than that, I don't post. But you could slide into my DMs if you're a girl. Just saying.
There you go.
They sometimes do that.
I think me and Brenna are gonna find you a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Slide in. That's what the DMs are for. They're for sliding.
You send them my way. I'm happy to flirt and have conversations.
Let's do that. That sounds like fun. And as always, you can follow me at Chrissie Mayr, Instagram at Chrissie Mayr Pod. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Just send Fealty your girlfriend possibilities.
Yeah,
we will.
Golly.
Yeah, we totally will.
I'm not shy at all. Just saying.
Blondes, just send them my way.
Blonde man buns.
I love it. This was an amazing show. Thank you, Brenna and Kristy, for joining and for staying so long.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having
Thank you, everybody watching. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
All right,
bye.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.